Have you ever used it for anything?
What are we doing here? Did I unplug my... Hold on. Oh, no, there it is.
I don't know what you're missing. We're
All right, we're good.
You're having the Amiga took a lot out of you, didn't it?
Well, I just haven't reset all of like this scene because this is the first time we've used this scene, so I had to redo the thing. But anyway, after Amigathon...
Hi, Pixels, Michael, by the way. We Picard.
Yeah, that monitor's real far away.
What's a good word, gentlemen?
Make that real big for us.
Glad to see you. Thanks for coming in.
But you know, after Amigathon, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna really get back to basics with my cable setup. I'm gonna put everything back. It's gonna look clean lines. Well, you see how that ended up.
Not so good, Al.
I mean, when you've got 87 different devices plugged into your computer, you can't escape having
that HDMI cable you've got. That's a heavy duty. Is that the one that stretches all the way across the house?
Yeah.
Because it's weighing down. It's that's gonna end up breaking that.
It's gonna snap off inside my 980 Ti.
Can I make a suggestion to you? I've got a gimmick at the house, and it's a length of HDMI cable about yay long, and all you do is just plug it in, and it's just specifically made for that kind of stuff. So because it's not going to be as heavy.
Sure, I'd love that. I'd appreciate that.
Remind me, I'll try to dig it up. It may be a couple weeks.
That's fine.
It's in yonder box. What's up, Paul?
Paul, boss man.
The boss.
I've missed you on my streams as of late. Your presence has been requested.
He's condemned you repeatedly for your absence, sir.
Yeah. Of course, he's busy being the CEO of that place he works for in Norway. So,
I know you guys are. There's a lot of people sweating it out over across Europe.
Yeah.
In America,
it's been cool.
We've got no.
It was like 80 degrees yesterday.
It wasn't not all day. At the end of the day, it got cooler. But we're used like now. If it's under 90, that's a win.
Right.
You know,
we also have this thing called air conditioning in all of our houses.
I was talking to my buddy about that because, you know, and we mentioned this a couple weeks ago, you can go out and you get like an AC at Walmart for $100. You're in.
Yeah.
You know, you're in. And I don't know if I don't know if that's just not something people have over in Europe. Maybe it's just an American thing.
I mean, my dorm room didn't have AC in England.
Now, is this hyper anomaly when it comes to heat? Like this foreseeably could never happen. Should never happen, but has, or because I mean, I've talked to people over there that have been hot before.
Yeah, I think every summer there's probably a heat wave.
Yeah.
Paul, congratulations on your countryman winning the British Open. First time in a long time Northern Ireland golfer has won the British Open. First time in a long time they've had it in Ireland.
That seems appropriate.
In Northern Ireland, yeah.
Home course advantage, eh?
Well, sort of. I mean,
what do you mean? He's an Irish guy, and they had the thing in Ireland.
Well,
didn't the Irish invent golf? So
I think you might be thinking about the Scottish.
I'm asking. I don't know. I knew it was someone over there did it. So they should have. That's an advantage right there. They've been playing it longer than anybody else.
That's true. But
it's funny. Name a bunch of great legendary Scottish golfers.
Are
there some?
I'm sure there's tons.
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I don't think that they survived into the television era.
Oh, well, I guess I should have said modern Scottish golfers.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Hey, Colin. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. That's horrible, man. I'm so sorry. My condolences, man.
Yeah, sorry about that, Colin. You make my Scottish golfer remarks seem ill-timed.
I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, we're a bunch of older guys, and then here we go with, you know, I dread it. You know, geez, Hollywood free lunches living.
Yeah, he was at Epcot last night.
You know, Teresa's sister was at the Disney California Adventure just the other day.
Really?
Oh yeah, she gets around. She's been to Vegas for weeks on end, and she's been to California a couple times.
She's living that life.
She's living the life, man. You know, I saw California on a map the other day. You know,
looked pretty long. Looked pretty skinny.
I couldn't afford the map, but I mean, I
saw it passing by in a store.
I was looking at it at the bookstore before they ran me out of there. You know.
You ever go to Walden Books anymore?
Is there a Walden Books?
I don't think so.
Then why'd you ask?
Well,
so I guess the answer is no.
I guess not.
The only bookstores I know about are the Books A Million up there. There's that bookstore, that wacky bookstore that's in Charleston.
The Taylor Books on Capitol Street.
Taylor Books. Mm-hmm. You know, they're alternative type bookstore or whatever. I mean, I guess they've got normal books.
I buy books there all the time. That's where I buy my Dostoevsky.
Teresa goes, oh, really?
Yeah.
Does that come in comic or is that graphic novel?
It's a graphic novel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Abridged. Reader's Digest. What were you going to say?
I lost. I don't know what.
You lost me at Dostoevsky.
You know, but I've been.
I've given up on the Brothers Karamazov for this summer, by the way. My goal was to finish it. There's no way I'm going to finish it.
Too big?
It's too big. There are too many monologues that are just forever long, and I can't take it.
Hey, did I see that you went boating again the other day?
I did. I went boating.
Did you drive the boat or did you just ride in the boat?
Well, it was a sort of a in-between.
What's that mean?
Well, on a sailboat, you have multiple members of crew that have different duties.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I've heard that.
And so my new friend Bob from St. Albans was on the tiller. That's the steering.
That's the thing that digs up dirt when you're going to plant stuff.
Also
right?
known as a tiller. And I was on the jib sheet.
The jib sheet, eh?
Yeah. So I was.
What is there? I think there's an ointment for that.
Yeah, could be. But I was tacking and jibing with the best of us.
It looked interesting. Did you shoot any shots? I guess you didn't have anything of you in the boat.
Yeah, because I was scared to bring the phone on the boat because I figured the phone would end up in the water.
This isn't the America's Cup. Where'd you have this thing?
Over on Summersville Lake.
So that's a pretty calm.
Oh yeah, I mean we weren't in high winds, but I'm not the most coordinated person in the world. Sometimes I've got what they call the butterfingers.
I've heard that.
And so.
Hey Colin, I am excited about that. Oh, I'm glad to see. So you guys are going to get it over there. Outstanding. That's the new wrestling promotion, AEW.
Is it up and coming? Is it bigger or and badder than Shikara?
It is. This is the company that's going to be. The guy that owns the Jacksonville Jaguars owns it.
Really?
And then the guys he has running it with him are Dusty Rhodes Kid, Cody, and the Young Bucks are also a big part of it. Those three and Kenny Omega.
Wow.
And these are all big heavy hitters that were.
They call him the Dynamite Kid, right?
No. What?
Kenny Omega?
No, Kenny, not Kitty. Your puns are worse than usual. That's horrible. The Dynamite Kid just recently died after a horrible, horrible life.
Really?
So, yeah. So probably not the best time to bring him up.
I had no idea. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Did you know there was a Dynamite Kid?
I think I played him in one of the video games.
No, you didn't. No, he never appeared in any game I know of. Dynamite Kid was a tremendous worker, but he was one of the British Bulldogs. Remember them? And he, unfortunately, goes to injured so bad, he was reduced to being a wheelchair. I mean, he was one of the original high flyers.
Was he paralyzed?
Yeah, he was mauled. No, he was just
a bad spot.
His back. It's just years of abuse.
Yeah.
Plus, he was a big steroid guy. He was a cruiserweight that blew up to like a heavyweight. Don't do that. And both the Bulldogs are dead now. But Davey Boy Smith died years ago. So.
Do they have a featherweight division in wrestling, or is it cruiserweights?
Well, that comes from in Mexico. They have tons of different classes of light, in Mexico and Japan and America too. But over here, it's a 205 division, and the WWF has it. It's sort of a joke. And the funny thing is, AEW, almost everyone there is in that division. They're all much smaller guys.
But those guys are a lot more fun to watch. They're flying around.
Well, I mean, you need both.
Aerial assault.
And the days of having nothing but giants in the ring are over. People want a lot of work rate, So it's the way it is. But anyway, get back to your boating. So no wrecks of the boat.
No wrecks in the boat. I did decide that the perfect boat for me is it's called a sunfish.
Yeah.
Just think of the name sunfish. You think about me. I know.
I saw a dead sunfish when I was canoeing down the New River. And I kid you not, it was laying on the surface. It was this big.
Wow.
It was a monster.
That's
it was
pretty incredible.
Something from the dinosaur era.
Huh.
I thought, Jiminy Christmas, these things are in this water that I'm floating on.
That's crazy. So I'm currently in the market for a sunfish sailboat. If you see one, let me know.
No boat.
Eep is against me.
You've already, no kidding. You couldn't even take the dinghy.
That's true.
Now, when you were jibbing your blicker, whatever you said,
jibbing the blicker.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
What is that? What does jibbing that mean?
So you got two moves. You got a tack and a jibe. Okay?
Jibe, yeah.
Attack is when you turn into the wind.
Is that attack or
a tack?
Okay. Attack's better.
Yeah. And then a jibe is where you're turning against the wind. So what happens is the boom is going to swing around like that. So you got to duck down if you're in a small sailboat.
I can't imagine you having any jive at all.
I got all kinds of jive.
I can't. No. See that? I rest my case. You're the least jive-filled man I've ever met.
That can't be true.
So when you jib the jibe, what happens?
Well,
the gimmick comes swinging around.
The gimmick comes swinging around. You got 2 ropes.
Is it the mast?
Well, it's the mast is a.
That's the big tall thing.
Right.
So this is the arm thing.
And the jib is there's 2 sails.
Yeah.
You got your mainsail, which is attached to the mast.
Is that the way you say it?
Yeah.
Why don't you say mainsail?
Because that's not sailor talk.
Mainsail?
Mainsail.
Okay.
Okay. And then you got the jib. The jib sail or the foresail is the one that's like a triangle piece.
Is it the
front.
jibsail?
No.
Why? So the mainsail is the mainsail, but the jib sail's the jib sail?
I didn't make the rules, man. Long John Silver did.
How much rum did you guys drink before you hopped on the boat?
You just couple kegs of rum before you jump on. But anyway, do you really want to know the answer to this question?
Yeah,
or are you just,
I'm sorry.
So what the mainsail doesn't actually, when the mainsail comes around, you've got the boom on the mainsail, right?
Is that the big stick
that's
that goes off the side?
That's the stick that's facing out like this.
Yeah.
So you duck under that, and then you grab the rope on the other side, and then you pull it in, and you make that tight, and then you can keep going. You don't lose power.
That's it's called the boom?
Yeah.
So is that called that because it whacked a guy, and it was like, boom!
You know,
it's got to be what it was,
could be,
right?
Could be. You got to make sure you got to get a boom vang on there,
Did you get whacked with it when you were jibbing?
Sometimes you get whacked with it.
Really?
If you're not
Does it
paying
hurt?
attention. No.
Do you wear a helmet?
No. Now, if you're in if you're on the ocean, and you got really high wind, and you're on a big boat, you can get either tossed overboard by the boom or get cracked in the head and die.
You could die.
You could die.
Boom.
Yeah.
What a dumb way to go.
You don't want to die with a boom.
Man, this sounds dangerous now.
Sailing is dangerous in the ocean, especially on a big boat.
And how many people do you have to have to a crew to have a sailboat?
Well, this particular boat is really set up to have 2 people. It sits 2, I think, is what they say in sailing speak. But with a big boat like a 40 or 50 foot yacht, you want to have about 6 or 8 guys on there. You think about the America's Cup boats. Of course those are different.
Now what about the sundial or whatever? The sunfish.
So the sunfish is a one-man gang.
So this would be a one-man crew.
Mm-hmm. And there's not even a cockpit. You sit on the side of the ship, and there's a little indentation where you put your feet.
Yeah.
And it's got what's called a lantine sail, which means it only has one big sail, and the sail actually comes out a little bit from the mast, and then comes back in and up like this.
Yeah.
Here's the advantage. Okay, it's really light. It only weighs 150 pounds.
Yeah.
Advantage 2, that you don't have to rigging it, setting up the sail takes like 10 minutes.
All right.
Okay, you only have to tie like 3 knots. With a normal size sailboat, even a 2-person sailboat, it takes you like an hour. Especially if you don't know what you're doing, then it takes you even longer.
Do you know all the appropriate knotting?
I do. You only need to know. You only need to know 3 knots.
You only need to know 3. You see what
I did
pretty
there? Good. It's pretty good. Let's see if you remember him. The bowline. Remember the bowline from Scouts?
That's what you write on your shoe.
Yeah. Okay. You need
the hitch.
You need to know a hitch. Yeah, 2 half hitches.
Yeah.
Yep. And you need to know a figure 8 knot. Or a stopper.
That's what Charlotte Flair does as her finisher.
Yeah. So you curl the rope into the piece of Charlotte Flair's legs.
Hey, and then, sounds so far so good. Maybe I should get a boating.
You should.
In all honesty, boat. I don't see so how to go.
Well, it's a sailboat. It depends on the wind.
What's top speed?
Top speed, I'd say is.
It's like you take it on a hurricane or something.
I mean, you with a normal sunfish, without a spinnaker or without any kind of like a downwind sail, I'd say it could probably go maybe 10 knots.
What's that in American terms?
So that's like maybe like 15 miles per hour tops.
Okay, not that good, not that
well,
fast.
When you're going 15 miles an hour on a boat, you feel like you're flying out of control.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Especially on a little, like, 1-person sailboat.
Now, where would you sail this boat?
There's a couple places. The closest place is Beach Fork Lake.
Oh, yeah. I know that one.
Yeah.
Now, do you need a trailer for this boat?
You need a trailer for it.
So how you gonna pull that trick?
Well, I've got an SUV.
No, but you don't have a trailer.
Most of the time when you buy a boat, it comes with a trailer.
Now, what's a boat cost you?
Well,
like that boat.
You can get a Sunfish pretty much ready to sail with the trailer for around $750, $800.
Ooh, man. I've bought 2 cars cheaper than that in my lifetime.
I don't believe that.
That's true.
Tell me
in
the
fact,
cars.
both of them together. Chevy Citation, and a Nova.
Okay, this was back in the 80s when everything cost under $100. So
it was a good time to be alive back in the days of cheapness. If you were a cheap guy, you could really cheap out back in those days.
I'm getting a free Sunfish. It doesn't come with the trailer, unfortunately. And a lot of times buying the trailer is
you got to sail it down to the lake?
Well, my friend is bringing it on his trailer, and he's going to deposit it at my house. I still haven't decided if this is a good idea or not.
Yeah. So. Can I go ahead and jump in here? It's not. It's a horrible idea. Dad, listen to your heart.
I do every day.
Make sure you get one of those captain's hats. That makes it official.
And a crested jacket.
To be fair, if you were, can you name the boat?
Oh yeah.
What are you gonna name your boat?
I got to look at it first. You don't know till you see it.
Oh, I see.
And then it speaks to you.
You're gonna be your own first mate and cabin boy.
Yeah.
So you got it all covered.
I'm thinking about Marlene.
Have you thought about joining the Merchant Marines?
It's too late, unfortunately. I don't think
they
don't take
limit?
people of my age or my girth.
Oh, baloney. I bet they would take you at a heartbeat.
I don't know.
A rugged man such as yourself?
I do have lots of sailing experience now. So I've got that in my corner.
You got more than me.
I think that they normally use sailboats in the Merchant Marines. It's their primary mode of transit.
It makes it hard to tow that cargo, though. You need a really strong breeze to take 400 tons of coal down the Mississippi in a sailboat.
That's true.
You might need one of them sticks. You might want to get into one of those.
Punting down the Thames, as Dick Van Dyke would say.
Bodie McBoatface. There it is. The famous name.
Yes.
You ready to lay this down?
Yeah,
old
man.
school.
You said you wanted to get started, but then you wanted to hear my
I wanted to hear about your boat.
history.
Listen, what kind of jerk would I be if I just walked in and be like, "Go to work, boat. I don't want to hear any of your personal
I need to go
stories."
get my fancy water.
Oh my God! Is it seltzer type water?
It is. That's exactly what it is.
Boat. Listen, you're too fancy to be a boatster.
No, you can't be fancy enough to be a boatster.
What, have you seen people that drive boats? Now he's got to go get his fancy water. Good Lord. This guy's prissy. Oh, hey, Duncan. I didn't see you wander in, man. Oh, man. Let's steal this so I can see what you guys are talking about. Oh, Horatio Hornblower. Hey, I watched the movies. Oh, I'm sure they're weak movies. You ever see those Horatio Hornblower flicks?
I don't even know what that means.
You ever heard of Horatio Hornblower? Tales of the guy who's in the Royal Navy.
Tales of the Unexpected.
That's good too. You ever seen the really hideous Fantastic Four movies?
The one from the 70s?
No, not that hideous.
No, I haven't seen either of those.
It had the real hot chick play the Invisible Girl and
Scarlett Johansson?
No, not her. The other hot one. Anyways, the dude that played Mr. Fantastic, he played Horatio Hornblower.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Yeah. What a name, by the way.
Mr. Fantastic and Plastic Man.
Right.
Are they the same guy?
No, but they're eerily similar. Yeah. Yeah, they're and there's also
is one DC and one Marvel?
I think Plastic Man did come over. I'm not sure. We have one's DC and one's Marvel, yes. But Plastic Man, I'm not sure if he started out in DC or they picked him up somewhere. I'm not sure how that
They picked him up somewhere?
There's another guy in DC. His name's Elongated Man, I believe is his name.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And he's a stretchy guy. There's a few of those stretchy guys.
Did you ever have one of those toys?
That's it, Pixels. Jessica Alba. Bam. Outstanding.
Did you ever have one of those, what do they call them, the stretchy guys?
You mean Stretch Armstrong?
Yeah, Stretch Armstrong.
Everyone had one briefly until they ripped that.
His stretching was not infinite.
Yes. Oh man, they showed me a Stretch Armstrong that has all the arms and legs. That is a miracle.
Okay.
Analytics overview. That doesn't look too good.
No. That's
rock bottom.
Our t-shirt sales are through the roof.
What happened to the t-shirts? I've got tons of ideas.
You say that all the time, and I'm like, okay, send them to me.
I'm not an artist. What do I look like?
You're like, you remember where you had all these wrestling shirt ideas and stuff?
I still got them.
Club.
They're back here.
Okay.
Bullet Clubs, they're gone now. That's all.
It's a good idea we didn't make that shirt.
I told Brent to design some stuff, but he's lagging behind.
Okay. Let me...
Actually, Jessica was the only person in that movie that was made the movie at least tolerable. Just kind of look at her beauty and go like, wow, look at that.
She was Alias, right?
I don't know.
Remember that TV show, Alias?
Nope. I know you're thinking of the chick from West Virginia was in that one.
Oh, Jennifer Garner?
That's her.
What was Jessica Alba in?
She was in a show on Fox called something Angel, Dark Angel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I remember that.
And some other stuff. I don't remember. You know.
Oh, yeah. We need to get everything up.
You can make a weird noise.
And
you've got to allow the tater tots and booze.
I know.
That's a deadly combination right there.
I love tater tots. I love them so much.
Sin City, yeah. And she was in the crappiest part of that. Well, I mean, she was in other parts.
Is that actually a good book, like comic? Sin City?
Didn't read it, but
okay.
The movie was pretty good, except for the horrible, prostitute town section of the movie, which was just hideously bad. The rest of the movie I liked, but that part sucked.
I can't believe you didn't like a part of a movie that featured prostitute town.
I didn't like it. It was not. Listen, I'm all for a town filled with prostitutes, but this was not a good representation of said town.
I see.
Sin City's super dark.
Yeah, I know it's not for me.
I mean, I loved Watchmen, and Watchmen's super dark too. But this was literally dark.
Well,
like it was
dark,
shot like
you
it was black.
Just stumbling through the dark the whole time.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Amigos. I'm John.
And I'm Aaron.
And today we're going to be talking about zany golf.
Ooh, it's zany.
It's so zany.
It is. It's, man.
What's the zaniest game of golf you can remember?
Oh, boy. Me and the boy just went and played some miniature golf a couple weeks ago.
You go over to the Jeans Greens for that?
I don't know what that is. We go over to the batting cage joint. Is that what that's called?
Jeans Greens.
And here's what was zany about it. It was 100 degrees when we played, and so it got zanier as the golfing went on because we were parched, dehydrated. We were out in cement in an unsheltered, super death maze of golf. I had a good round.
I will say there's not much shade on that course.
There's zero shade. And they used to have a little water thing running through it. Nah, screw that. We're not paying for that in West Virginia. You just spit in that thing full of water.
That course isn't really noticeable for its interesting hazards. There's no windmills.
No.
There's no cuckoo clocks.
It's as generic a golf course as you can make. It's nice. It's not greatly maintained. It's okay. I've seen worse. But there's no.
It's not as bad as the one over the wave pool. That one was.
Is that still there?
No, they tore that down finally. That was in rough shape.
Well, that's because they were stupid and they didn't take care of it.
Yeah.
If you don't take care of your stuff, it fails. So, but yeah, I do play a little miniature golf now and again. That's where I really shine. I'm a putter. I'm a lover. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I played some zany golf in my life. I played over in Thailand. I played some mini golf that looked like it was built on some sort of ancient ruins, like Machu Picchu or.
You mean like it was supposed to look like that, or it actually was?
Hard to say in Thailand. Hard to say. They might have just dug someplace up and said, "All right, let's make a mini golf course here." But I will say that my.
That's what they do over there.
That's what they do. Either elephant sanctuary or mini golf course. Those are your two options.
Or one and the same.
Yeah, but I haven't played any zany actual golf here recently. It's been real hot, and I've been real lazy. I mean, I've had a lot of sitting on the couch to do this summer, and I have to get to it. I have to get in my quota. Summer's almost over.
No, for me it's not. It never started. It's just this is hot work time and cold work time's just over yonder.
Just around the corner. Just around the corner.
Yeah.
Is Luke ready to go back to school?
Oh no. He's a week away from Pokemon camp.
Oh.
He's very excited about that.
And that's over at the Marshall, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hey, while I'm thinking about golf, I was just thinking about what's the best golf movie you ever saw?
Well,
because there's plenty of them out there.
I haven't seen any of the good ones. I've never seen Caddyshack. I've never seen Tin Cup.
Okay.
You're
really narrowing the field here.
I have seen Billy Madison.
Okay.
So I guess I'd have to go with Billy Madison.
It does have its moments.
Bob Barker's in it.
The Bob Barker part's the best part.
Or Happy Gilmore, sorry.
Yeah.
Wrong Adam Sandler. Billy Madison.
Yeah, that's what he's at school.
Yeah. They're all the same.
Yeah.
Man, Adam Sandler. Whew.
What's that mean?
I saw that movie, the Netflix original with him and the girl from Friends.
Isn't that supposed to be a big deal?
Oh, God.
Like that was the big deal.
It was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I was at my buddy's house and his wife wanted to watch it and he was, oh my God, I went to bed early.
What did he think about it?
She didn't like it either. He's really.
I watched another one of his
actor.
Netflix movies, and it was no good either.
Yeah, he's just not good.
Well, I mean, he tries. He's made so much money, who cares?
You're right,
you know?
right. I don't know why he's still doing anything.
I don't know either.
You know where I'd be? On my boat.
On the yacht with some other guy driving.
That's right.
But you'd still make him call you captain. That's what I would do.
That's the drill.
By the way, the correct answer, Caddyshack. Caddyshack, funniest golf movie.
Who's in that?
Are you
Jack
kidding?
Nicholson?
No, huh? No, what? Jack Nicholson? No.
Yeah.
Caddyshack? It's got you've got Roddy Dangerfield in it, Ted Knight, right? Bill Murray.
I know him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You've got Chevy Chase.
Really?
Oh yeah, man. This is an all-star cast.
There's an animatronic gopher in it
There's
too,
a gopher
right?
in it. Kenny Loggins sings the little theme.
I like him.
I'm all right. And the gopher does his little gopher dance in the hole.
Is that where that song's from? Caddyshack?
Yeah.
Wow,
That's where that
okay.
song's from, man.
I like Kenny Loggins a lot.
Bill Murray's brother's in it. Believe it or not, he's in a lot of movies.
What's his name? Sully?
No, it's what is his brother's name? I don't know. I think they just call him the guy's brother. You know, it's a good flick though. I highly recommend you watch that. Plus, you can watch it. It's not real violent. It's not. The good-looking chick from Tron's in it. Whose name she plays Lacey Underall. I can't remember her name. She's great. She was great in Tron too. So I recommend it. You love Tron, right?
I do. I like Tron a lot. Still haven't seen Tron 2.
Tron 2 was pretty good. And I hate everything.
You've got that big Tron sticky wall thing at the arcade.
Tron 2 both of them had a great soundtrack.
Daft Punk.
Yeah, outstanding. One of my faves. Love it. If you're in the mood to do some serious hacking, you put that thing on, and then you start getting the war dialer going. Is that what you're singing?
I wasn't listening to you. I was singing Daft Punk.
I get that a lot. We should probably just keep going.
All right. Well, let's talk about what's been going on outside of the Aaron and John world and in the greater world of the Amigos in general over at everythingamiga.com.
Are we going to touch base with the happenings, the goings on?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the goings on and the happenings right now.
Oh, okay. Well, so the Dreamcatcher stuff
No,
happenings?
I'm talking about Amigathon 2019.
That's what I thought it
Aaron.
was. I couldn't tell. You didn't feed me well.
You're right, I did.
Put the food here.
I actually didn't realize what I was talking about until I came upon it.
Amigathon was a happening.
It was a happening. Let's check in with our latest and last final donation total of the year over at Amigathon.com. We raised exactly $3,200. So I want to thank...
Someone chipped in an extra $3 or $4 there to put us over the top.
You're talking to him.
Oh, good job, Boat.
I want to thank all of our donors. Let's see. They don't list how many donations we got. I want to thank our top donor, Amiga Bill.
Yay.
And
Thank you,
all
Bill.
of our sponsors, all of our donors, all the people that put games on the board. I got to tell you, this Amigathon was an experience like no other.
Oh, yeah?
I have not finished an Amigathon so happy and so content with life in the universe and everything.
You did seem less violently hate-filled.
You'll notice that I didn't physically push everyone out of the room as I did.
That was the birthday. That's what we all had to get violently shoved out. But yeah, your demeanor was a lot nicer this year without the 24 hours.
Yeah.
And we ended up going like 14 hours.
Yeah, we went a little extra.
So I mean, it's funny when you think about it, but it's different when you don't have to do it. You're like,
Absolutely.
okay, I can leave it any time.
Absolutely. So, it was a great event. I was glad to do it. I'm looking forward. Do you have any breaking news about what might be happening in Thanksgiving that you'd like to share?
Well, Brent's going to unleash this news on the world.
Well, he's not on this show, so you may have to unleash it here.
Here's the thing. This is sort of his baby.
Okay, so he's not announced it on ARG Presents.
Okay, he hasn't told me yet.
Okay,
all right, is that what you want me to say?
Well,
I'm in the dark. This is a Brent gig, and he's got some diabolical plan for that. And so, but I don't. Do you think he talks to me? The second that show's over, he walks out the door. I don't see him until he shows up for the next week.
Slams the door behind
him. That's it.
Yeah.
We have no personal relationship.
Well, that's sad, really.
No, he's an abrasive louse. You can't get around him too much.
Well, stay tuned for whatever that is.
Yeah, tune in this week to ARG for the big important announcement about whatever we're going to be doing.
Other big news, Aaron. Our YouTube channel. We finally crossed 2,000 subscribers.
$2,000.
So
I can't believe it.
it took us like 3.5 years to get to 1,000, and then it only took us like 6 months to get to 2,000. That means in 3 months we'll have 100 million subscribers, Aaron. That's what exponential means.
Is that how that works?
Compound interest. I know all about it.
I want you to be my accountant, Boat. Listen, $2,000, not bad, eh?
Not bad.
I mean, for what we're doing, I feel like it's a pretty good accomplishment there. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, go subscribe.
Yeah, even if you just listen to us on the podcast, on the audio version, go head on over our channel and give us a sub over there.
And click on the little bell, and it might do something.
It might notify you. Or you can be constantly disappointed when you are not notified.
You ever watch these YouTube videos and they're like, here's what they say. Like or subscribe today. Click on the notification button in the corner. That'll keep you updated on what we're doing at all times. And give us a thumbs up. They're angling. And I don't think we've ever said any of this.
I angle all the time.
We don't angle for thumbs up.
Give us a sub. Put us on in the background so we get extra ad dollars.
When did you angle that? I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's what the real shady guys do.
Put us in the background?
Yeah, they say, just leave our videos on all the time. Just let them run.
That seems sort of shady.
It is very shady, and YouTube does not like it.
He said it, YouTube.
Let's talk about Dreamcatcher now, Aaron.
Okay, now we're ready.
Yeah.
Because we mentioned him, of course, during the Amiga-thon, since this sort of indirectly was his baby.
It was.
Dreamcatcher was he started raising money for charity, and both thought it was a good idea, and there you go.
That's what happened.
I was just thinking.
Oh,
go ahead.
Before you talk about what we were just thinking about, we need to give the audience a little update on a little thing I like to call the Amigo Aaron weight loss wager that was unveiled during Amiga-thon, because not everybody saw it.
Yeah, it's funny. Someone asked me about that on one of our ARG videos. The Amigo Aaron weight loss wager is over. And I suppose, who won the wager? I guess I lost, but I sort of won. I guess charity won.
Yeah, charity's the real winner.
So, of course, I had to attempt to lose 100 pounds in a little over 6 months. A formidable task, which I was not up for, I'm afraid. But I gave it the Aaron college dropout try, Boat. And I managed to drop 51 big pounds by weigh-in time. I felt pretty good about that weight.
An admirable amount.
Thank you, Bo.
Admirable.
And so, of course, it was...
that's really... 50 pounds is like 25% of your body weight.
Well...
So, that's a huge amount. Don't try and do the math. Just go with it.
I just lop off an arm, too. So, of course, it was a wager, Boat. And you know what that means. When you put your money in the down, you got to pay. And so I sent up a chunk of change to but it's money well spent.
Yeah.
To our good friends at the Children's Miracle Network. So the Amiga weight loss wager is now closed. It's over. It's done with. But I would like to at least lose another, let's say, 30 pounds by Thanksgiving to get under the 300 mark.
Man, just imagine.
And dwell somewhere where in the same area, the same time zone where normal people weigh.
Yeah.
So that's the goal.
Well, you better buy a stick.
I don't know what that means.
If you get under 300 pounds, you're going to be beating off those women.
What? Wow, well worded, Boat. Yeah. So, I'm kind of gun shy with the women. Probably two separate things. Let me concentrate on this.
Okay.
And worry about that.
Okay.
But thanks for everybody that's sending their money for the weight loss wager. That worked out pretty well, I think.
Absolutely. And we just got one final Amiga-thon donation in because I'm cashing out right after we do this show. Thank you, Retro Man Cave, for your generous $25 donation. He's in the chat. He's just throwing it in there.
Thank you, Retro. He jumped right in.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm glad it's over. It was hard work, but I feel better now.
Absolutely.
Losing the weight's great. I feel a lot better.
Good. Let's talk about side updates, Aaron.
Yes, sir. Now, as I was getting ready to say, the Dreamcatcher, again, the man that has been with us from way back, one of our earliest buddies, and a heck of a man, and again, sort of the man that got us into the whole raising money for charity gimmick. He was a maniac, and since we didn't cover anything last week, I'm just gonna mention these, and I'm gonna try to guess what they're about because the names and stuff are written here. But I advise you to check these out, and we'll get back to our normal schedule next week. He's done so many, so prolific an author that it's hard to keep up with his authoring. So we've got I think we may have covered this, but I can't remember. It's been so long ago. He's done an article on Home Alone. Did you ever see that?
Only about 1 million times.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that's got tons of violence in it. How'd you go and see that?
They used to play it at my daycare constantly.
Your daycare? You're lying.
I'm not lying. Just constantly.
There used to be an Amigo Aaron's beat the hell out of boat challenge.
You think I'm joking, but I'm not.
I want to hope you're joking.
We watched it so often that we could quote the movie while it was going on. We just say every line.
Just the fact that you watch this in daycare fills me with a certain sense of pain.
The scene with the gangsters in the black and white movie, that I didn't like that. I didn't
too
like
scary for you?
Yeah.
Now, I did read this article. This next one here from the DK. He and this is just a little... I don't know what he was thinking. You never know with him. He does some weird stuff. It's a little thing here about Techno Cop, and he did a video to the company, which I watched.
This is we hear about this game a lot.
Now I love Techno Cop. We covered this way back, didn't we? I don't
think we've ever done an episode on Techno Cop.
Well, someone will tell us. I thought we did. I love Techno Cop because it's ludicrous. It's a ludicrous, idiotic
Is it like
game.
RoboCop?
It's a cross between Road Blasters and, I don't know, Rolling Thunder or something.
Sounds pretty good.
Except it's a violent, I don't know what, your guy has a net. You can net guys, or you can just shoot them. And when you kill them, instead of just kind of dying, they explode into this pile of guts.
I don't like that.
Oh, it's tasty. I recommend it. So anyway... Go check that out.
Look at this. I'm looking at Technocop's arm here. He's got two choices.
See, the problem with the arm is that that thing extends and you can't actually straighten your arm. I mean, you can't bend your arm. So it's like, one of these.
It's a hard knock life being Technocop.
Well, listen. That's why he makes the big Techno cash. So next, now this is another boat that we've played. He goes on to a little bit here about New York Warriors. You remember this? Sort of, it was like an Akari Warriors meets Escape from New York.
We did do this, yeah.
And hey, I like that game, to be honest with you.
This is based on the film The Warriors, right?
No, well,
sort of, right? It's like Gene Simmons meets The Warriors.
It's there are parts of it they've lifted it right out of the movie.
It's like Street Gangs.
Did you ever play the game based on The Warriors that the Rockstar
No, but
did?
I heard it was good, right?
It was. And it's got all the iconic, Warriors come out to play, with the bikes, got all that stuff in it, But the movie, have you ever seen the film?
Do you think I'd ever watch that?
Yeah, because it's from the 70s.
It's tons of violence.
Stupid film.
It's all violent all the time.
There's a gang of guys that paint their, like baseball players, and they carry bats. Now, how intimidating is that?
Well,
here come the baseball guys.
It is. It's kind of like watching West Side Story, and you see all those graceful dancers as street gangs.
You've got a point there. Those guys, the Jets and the Sharks. How do I know that? I don't even know.
Because you were in band.
What's that to do with anything? We didn't do show tunes in there. So, next up on the docket here from the DK, No Teddy Bear's Picnic. This is a game, and I'd say I'm not familiar with this game. It's called Risky Woods, if you will. Dusty Road style.
I thought you were doing your Icky Woods impression.
That was my Icky Woods doesn't talk. He does the Icky Shuffle.
He talks while he does it.
What's he say?
That?
No, he doesn't. You've never heard him say one thing. Don't lie to people. Anyway, Risky Woods. You ever heard of it?
No.
I haven't either. But it looks
got a Genesis port.
It looks pretty good. I think. Okay, let me catch myself up here. So, let's go to Dynasty Wars boat. Giddy up, Jingle Horse. Pick up your feet. A Christmas notion for this violent-looking game. I've never heard of this either. Is this a beat 'em up? Maybe I think I had. No, I take that back. I've played.
Well, there's Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah, I've played Dynasty Warriors. I don't know what. I'm not exactly sure what in the hell
this looks like a beat 'em up sort of ordeal. I think
I've played this. I think it's from the arcade.
Yeah.
I'm sure me and the boy have played, as we often will do. He's also got a gimmick here on The Strangers, another game. Guess what? I've never heard of, and this one looks like God only knows what the hell this is. Who knows? Again, you have to check this stuff out. There's so many of these. I didn't get to read them all. And lastly, actually two more. We've got a is cloning the future a pre-crime? I'm guessing you haven't seen the Tom Cruise
Minority Report?
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
You have seen that?
I watched it on a band trip, I think.
Really? So basically, you only see this stuff when you're forced to watch it.
Yes.
And what did you think of that one?
It was okay. I mean, it had all the...
Yeah, I could have done without those. This is a game called Motor Massacre Boat. Now, this sounds...
There's a lot of dystopian racing.
You know, we've been doing this show for how long? It's like 20, 30 years. How did we miss all these games?
I don't know.
Where the hell does he find this stuff?
We got a lot of games to cover.
If Dreamcatcher made up some screenshots and said, here's a game called, like, you know, Poopy Destruction Wars, and I'd be like, well, there's another one. Yep. And he could just literally, these could all just be made up by him. Lastly, You Can't Do the Magic is the final article. This one just came out 2 days ago. And it looks like this one is on... Let me see what the heck this one's on.
Fuzzball.
Is that what this one's on?
Yep.
Now, Fuzzball. We've never looked at that either, have we?
No. These guys look like the Fury of the Furries guys.
He mentions that at the top. I'm like, what is this? So, lots and lots and lots of good reading here from the DK. I'm going to be catching up over the weekend on this stuff because I read pretty much almost everything he puts out when I can, but we've been so busy over there with the Amiga thought I missed out on a ton of stuff. So, a lot of good stuff there. What have you been up to video-wise this week, bud? I mean, you've been the man of men this week.
Well, you know, I've had some free time now that Amigathon's over and I can breathe again. I've been thinking about some new ideas for streaming.
Yeah.
And so a couple things that I did was I decided to create a video series where I ranked all of the Amiga platform games.
Because you love them all.
Yeah, because I love them all so much. Starting with, you have to start with Zool. Zool is the first name in Amiga platforming.
He's the ninja ant who's not an ant.
Right.
He's also an alien. And he's fighting for the rights of other ants, but he's not an ant.
Exactly. So, you know, my goal for this series is I'm going to play a game for about 20 minutes, kind of get the feel for it. And then afterwards, I'm going to go down to... Jeez, we got issues because my screen's all messed up because with the chat and stuff. But over here in the description, you can see I've linked to a spreadsheet where I have a list of criteria, and the game basically starts out with a perfect 10 and then gets docked either half or a full point for missing out on some things that I consider to be detrimental to the game.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
On Zool there, when I watched your video, you could not beat the first level in under 5 minutes. Did you come back and beat it in under 5 minutes?
Well, yeah, but before I left, I would say, okay, this is for real. I've gotten the hang of the controls. I'm going to go through it. I beat the first level in like 3.5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I watched that first. That was a pathetic attempt.
Yeah. Well, I was coming to grips.
I mean, if you stink, that seems unfair to the game.
Exactly. So I wanted to give it I'm giving all these games a fair shot. I'm hopeful that I'll be able to do honor to the Amiga platformer.
I love this series. It's now my favorite series. Because what I like about it is that you'll be forced to play games I know you think are hot garbage.
That's true.
And I'll sit back with a popcorn and on the couch and just cackle at your antics.
Absolutely.
So just be yourself. Badmouth them.
I played some ZX Spectrum games. Started out with a little bit of a Tic-Tac.
No. Atic Atac.
I'm not calling it. That's dumb.
Atic Atac, not a Tic Attack.
After a Tic Attack, I played a whole bunch of Crystal Kingdom Dizzy.
Ooh.
This is a Dizzy game that is
it's
a remake of a 48K Spectrum game that they remade for 128K with extra colors and music and stuff.
Snazzy. Okay.
And I got to tell you, I really enjoyed playing this game. I thought it was really, really good. You know, I'm not the world's greatest Dizzy fan.
We hate Dizzy.
Yeah.
We've hated everything we've ever played.
But I'm starting to come around. I think that the Amiga titles are just so bad. They're so much worse than the Spectrum titles. I think because maybe they had less and less involvement, or maybe were less and less passionate once they got into the 16-bit era. But
different?
I really had a lot of fun with. Because remember we played Treasure Island. We literally could not beat the first screen of the game.
Let me ask you: have you played that on the Spectrum? Maybe it just stinks all around. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
I don't think it exists on the Spectrum. I think it was a 16-bit only game.
Yeah, my Dizzy knowledge is it's not huge.
Yeah. So anyway, I had a good time. It's always a good time with the folks in the chat too, because they're usually a lot more knowledgeable about everything than I am. So.
Dizzy looks more nimble in this than he did in Treasure Island.
Yeah, and Treasure Island, he's sort of geriatric.
He's doing backflips and crap. Remember now when you were insta-dead. That's the game started.
Yeah, it was no good. So I played a little bit of that. let's talk a little bit about the last episode of ARG you guys just filmed, Point and Click Adventures.
Yeah, that was were you surprised that we did that?
Well, I can tell you that, the whole rationale behind Brent's mouse or point and click game can be anything where you point and click. He described every mouse game that's ever existed because that's what you do with a mouse.
That's
you
what I told him.
I told him that's dumb.
That. Yeah.
This is much better.
I think he realized, well, we're just going to. But yeah, I mean, no, he knows what he wants. But yeah, we did point and click adventure games, and it's funny because ironically, the point and click adventure game, Brent picked an NES game.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. Yeah.
But you do point, then you click.
This was my first exposure to Maniac Mansion. Was played on the NES. Everything that you guys talked about was true. It was a boon to the publishers because they released this game to a whole generation of people that were not PC gamers, and I enjoyed Maniac Mansion. I thought it was fun.
I played it on the PC, of course, back in the day, and then I picked Gabriel Knight 2 with the Beast Within, which is a title that seems to be lost in time and hard. But I mean, some people remember it because I got a couple comments. But I mean,
I'd never heard of this game before in my life.
It's funny because so let me tell you my rationale. I own this game and I have that old PC.
And so that's Sour Man, right? Was that Christopher Lee?
No,
that's Christopher Lee.
That's not Christopher Lee. But anyway, so I was like, man. I remember loving this game.
Can't help loving that game of mine.
And the funny thing is, the Gabriel Knight series, this is the only one that's video. The rest of them are just, the third one is, oh man, they try to use a 3D grade. It's not good. And so I thought, well, heck, I'm going to put this up here. And I really had a good time going back to it. Brent didn't like it as much as I did, but I thought it was fun. It's a real, as far as 4-motion video games on the computer, I think this is right near the top. I mean, it looks
very good.
There's still a game here. Is my point. So and it's an adventure game. And this is a long game. I mean, there's probably, like I said, the playthrough one. If you watch, it's like almost 10 hours. So there's a ton of video footage on this thing. So anyway, if you're into that sort of thing, come check us out. We had a real good time playing them. this week.
All right, moving right along with some other stuff that we've been up to. I started another series. I'm the man of starting mini-series.
Yes, you are.
This is a new thing I'm going to do whenever I feel like it, called Late Night Modern Gaming. This is when I start the stream way after the European folks have gone to bed, so I can't depend on too much chat action.
Did you get any chat
action? I got some chat action. We had some people, I think, Hasifa in Picard 2005, who's in Finland. So it was like 6 o'clock in the morning in Finland, and Picard 2005 was there. But I decided to start things off with our buddy Michael Ryan's game, Luna and the Moonling.
Now, you'd had a cup of coffee with
I played the first 2 levels of this.
Yeah, me and Luke played the crap out of this, and we still pop it occasionally because Luke, of course, just dug it. And it's a very clever game. It's not normally, I don't touch these games with a 10-foot clown pole. But I did enjoy this one. It's endearing. The puzzles aren't like
mega hard.
It's not mega doom. It also, one thing it does is it lets you not suck. Then you're fairly confident. Then it actually begins making it slightly more difficult.
Absolutely.
It eases you in as opposed to just beating you with the
learning curve
hammer.
Is very good. Yeah. Very good. So
I like this series too.
Yeah.
I don't play any modern stuff hardly, so.
Well, I'm going to be playing some Dragon Quest 9. I'm going to be playing some Euro Truck Simulator. I got a whole slate of stuff. Just wait till you watch me drive through Belgium late at night.
Are you going to play that game where you drive the train? I like to see that one.
Train Simulator?
Yeah.
Oh boy, I need to get the controls for that.
I've watched video of guys playing that. That man, you can. It is beautiful.
It is. I love those things. Yeah.
I don't know if you play that stuff. What does that mean? I think that means
you're awesome.
That's not what I think it means. I think it means it's you're real close to drawing your retirement.
Hey. That would be great. I'd love to start drawing my retirement tomorrow.
Is there a Euro Truck Simulator add-on where you could take a Ferrari, just tear down the streets and just run over people?
Possibly.
That's what like a Carmageddon mod. I'd be in.
I think you just want to play Carmageddon.
That's true.
Yeah. So I played Zany Golf, a little bit of Zany Golf. So
I've heard of that.
If you're into that, you're watching this podcast already. And I think that's it. That's pretty much all I did.
You went to work.
So. Yeah.
Nice job, dude.
Let's talk a little bit about what's been going on in the world of Amiga news, Aaron.
Amiga news. I'll do it this time.
Thank you. The Belgium Amiga Club is active and ready for your participation.
Look at that gimmick right there.
Yeah, so this is the Amiga 1200 Plus. This is a re-implementation of the Amiga 1200 board that this guy basically, he looked at the schematics of the original 1200 board. He said, this is crap. I'm going to do it better. So this is different than the thing that we talked about a couple months ago, or maybe even a couple years ago, the thing that Figgy has, which is it's basically a recreated 1200 board that's exactly like the original 1200 board. This one it's got stuff that nobody likes taken off, and it's got stuff that people do like put on. So you can check it out here. This is a rendering of the final product. Looks really cool. I like when they make circuit boards in different colors.
You know, I too looked at these schematics for the Amiga 1200 one time, and I looked them over. I scratched my head, threw them down, and ate a Twinkie. That was the extent of my project.
I do that a lot.
I call it Operation Give Up.
Just right off the bat.
That's it. I was done.
Next up, we talked about our Amigathon news, so we'll skip right on over that. And this is the last thing. Our buddy, Retro Ravi Abbott, he has got a classic Amiga mix coming up in just a couple days on the 27th of July. Tune in to his YouTube channel, and he's going to be spinning some classic Amiga tunes on his pair of 1200s with the mixer in the middle. He's got the headphones. He's putting his hand up to the side like
That's
DJs.
what they do.
That's how you know you're a real DJ. If you got hand up to the ear cup, man, hand up to the ear cup.
Yeah.
I need a shirt with that on it right now.
Yes, there it is. You know, I can't wait. Now this is the 27th. That's at 3 p.m.
It's live in 20 hours, less than 1 day away.
Oh, neat. You know, while we're talking about YouTube, I got to touch on a couple that just popped in the past day or so.
Okay.
Our buddy 10 Minute popped.
Has he put another one up there?
Yeah, and it looks like it was another in his series of helping out the dummies. And guess what? King Dummy was pleased. I raised my dumb guy scepter in approval. And our buddy Retro Man Cave put up an interesting video today on FPGAs. Now, you know, I don't have one of them, and amazingly, you haven't bought one. I mean, it's surprising that neither one of us have one of those things.
Especially since you got that Atomic Pi. I figure the FPGA is just one step away from that
Atomic Pi, $35. FPGA, like $200.
That's true. The jump in dollars is way high.
And so, anywho,
but it's called the Mister.
No, there's a variety of these things. But anyways,
the one I once called the Mister because that's a cool name. It's a mist with ER.
He mentions that they've got Amiga, the Amiga core, because that's what they got, the cores. The Amiga core is in pretty good shape.
The cores. They're from Ireland.
It looked cool. You know, what do you think about these? I mean, is this their time? Because one thing I always wonder about these, and I even mentioned it in a comment, is like, where does when emulation is straight up compared with these things? Because everybody said the FPGAs they say they're the exact simulation of the hardware, right? Then you've got emulation, right? I can see if you're a programmer or a real heavy duty player. I mean, I don't mean game player. I mean just a guy who's really into it,
like with an A at the end.
Right. But if you're just like Scrub McDoofus, like myself, and you're like, I want to play some Lionheart today, and am I going to load up the Amiga emulator, or I'm going to load up the Mister or whatever? Is there going to be enough of a difference there to make me give a crap? You know what I mean? To pay the $200? That's the $1 million question. But anyway, I thought it was interesting the way that he went over it. He does spell it out. He literally tells you how the chip works. You know, I mean, I didn't know. Are you kidding me?
Field programmable gate array.
I mean, I saw the charts and stuff, and I vaguely know.
Here's the advantage to me, okay?
Yeah.
So you've got this box.
You got a box.
Okay? You got a box that's sitting underneath your TV.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You've got a series of SD cards. Okay?
I like it.
Okay? You've got them in a cool-looking wallet. Okay?
Yeah.
And each of them, written in black Sharpie, is the name of an operating system.
That's it, right?
Okay?
I got it.
So you want to play, I don't know, MSX. You take out the MSX SD card, you pop it in the Mister, you flip it on. It's like you're playing the real thing.
That's it.
There's no outer shell of Windows. You don't have to watch the XP logo appear on the screen briefly and then go away. You don't have to do any of that stuff.
But isn't that part of the actual experience of loading up an actual...
Watching Windows load and then launching the emulator?
Oh,
no, that is not part of it.
I was off. I thought you meant... I was lost. I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
By the way, they got Sam Coupe on there, and they've got the Acorn Archimedes core.
Now, what I would do is I would figure out some way to customize my SD cards even more so. I would print out labels that had that mimicked the storage media of the disk, and then I would just pull them out.
I've seen suckers take those SD cards and put them in like a shell gimmick.
Yeah.
And then they shove some.
Now you're talking. It's all about the ritual, man. It's all about the ritual.
How far are you from doing that to like dressing up like Mario or something and playing the game and going hoo, 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 and dancing around like an idiot?
That's not canon.
I mean, you're going into a weird area when you do that. You've got to draw the line, man. And this may draw you over. That may be the ultimate secret plan. They want you to really lose it here. But I thought it was interesting. And if you're into old computers especially, these may be, I mean, he breaks down the cost. You're looking at a couple hundred US dollary dues to get into this gimmick, right? That's a decent amount of money, and these things will only go so fast. They're not going to be playing, PS2 on them or Dreamcast or whatever, if that's your bag. But if for old computers, guys like us,
right?
But I mean, again, I would like to see a video put together where someone compares them directly. You know what I'm saying? I'd like, because I don't fully grasp. I'm sure on the lowest level there's a big difference, but I don't know how that translates into actually what you do.
That would be a good video to see. All right, Aaron. This is probably our longest. We've gone half an hour, 35 minutes.
I told Bud we got to get through this today. Yeah. I got people waiting at the house, so we come in here and stagger through.
Well, let's go ahead and move on out to this week's game, Zany Golf.
Woo, it's zany. So, I got to ask you, I'm guessing, had you played this before this week?
Never.
Really?
Never.
Have you ever heard of it?
Never.
Because this got a lot of...
Well, yes, I heard of it because I thought this was that game that you played for the Lynx on ARG.
No.
Wasn't that called Zany Golf, too?
No, that was called Hot Garbage. That was that thing Brent played.
I think that was called Zany Golf.
No. I played Ninja Golf. Now, that was awesome.
I like Ninja
Remember
Golf
that?
on the 7800, yeah. We did that in the episode 2 of ARG.
This one's not as good as Ninja Golf. The golf's better, but that's about it. So... what you got here is Zany Golf, or for some, Will Harvey's Zany Golf.
Nobody calls it that.
It's on the side.
I'm Will Harvey.
It's on the
Good
side.
Good day.
I looked up Will. I'll get into him in a minute.
Is he related to Paul?
No.
Then I'm not interested.
That was your Paul Harvey impersonation? It's like this. This is Paul Harvey. Good day. That's the way he sounds. You were like, this is
that
Paul
the way
Harvey.
He sounds?
Good
Boy,
day.
You schooled me.
I did. Hey, go back and listen. The people will understand. So anyways, this came out in 1989. That's the year I graduated from high school, by the way. This was published by the big boys over at EA Boat. EA.
Yeah.
And developed by an outfit called Sandcastle. Now, I looked into Sandcastle. They've got exactly one other game.
What's that?
The Immortal.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a Hulk Hogan game either.
No, this was ported to the NES, the Immortal.
You've heard of the Immortal?
Yeah, it's a kind of a gothic. There's a skeleton. It's like a one-on-one fighting game. It's a weird thing.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not.
How do I not know about this? We'll have to look into that. This is OCS. It's pretty rudimentary. Now this got it released on a bunch of different systems here, Boat, including a couple of your favorites. The Apple II GS got a port of this one, Boatster. The Atari ST, of course, DOS, which I played this on DOS and the Amiga. The Mega Drive / Genesis. Tandy, that's the one I played. It was on the old Tandy. And of course, they had all the different CGA, EGA, blah blah blah.
Tandy graphics.
And of course, you must, in '89, you got to put out a IBM PC Junior version. So if you're into the PC Junior.
What had the superior graphical capabilities, the PC Junior or the Tandy?
They were very similar, actually. They both had their own graphics mode. I think the Tandy was like 16 color. I think so was PC. But I'm no PC Junior expert, but I know that it didn't do well. So there you go. Tandy did a lot better. So, and this was also released as part of a package deal, apparently, with the 500 Deluxe pack. You would get this if you were lucky enough to grab it. So, what is Zany Golf? Well, Zany Golf is a hilarious word for mini golf. This is your classic, or I guess they call it putt-putt golf, or I don't know if there's a world name for it that I don't know. Is there anything that's about right?
Yeah, I don't know what they call it over there in Europe, but over here we call it putt-putt most of the time.
That's right, putt-putt golf. So, this is as straight up of a golf game as you could have. The opening screen is just, you think, man, I'm in for something. Because, at the time, I remember seeing this opening screen. I'm like, holy smokes, look at the graphics.
Yeah, it's very impressive title screen.
Yeah, it's this camera pans up this sign, and there's stuff spinning on it. It says Zany. It says Will Harvey Zany Golf, and it's almost like neon. There's just music playing.
Looks like a Vegas casino sign.
It does. It's like, and there's just like, there's music playing. The music's, it's okay.
That's all right.
And then it says 1 to 4 players, and you pick. So you can have up to 4 players playing, hot seat. It's golf.
Chat says in the UK it's crazy golf.
Crazy golf.
I like that.
That's better.
Yeah.
That's way better. Although Zany golf, that sort of covers all your bases.
That's true. It's a catch-all term.
I like wacky golf.
I'm not surprised.
You get it because you're whacking the ball.
It is. It's a double entendre.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not.
Is it not?
I don't think that's what that means. So, you play a round of golf. Now, normally, how many holes is normally in a round of golf, Boatster?
18.
Right. Now, how many holes other than Zany golf?
9.
Plus a mystery hole, right? So
that's over in Hawk's Nest.
And the mystery hole there is much cooler than the mystery hole in this game. So this game, instantly, you have half the amount of holes you would normally have in a golf game.
Although I think most mini golf courses are 9 holes. I don't think there's too many 18-hole mini golf
almost
courses.
All the ones I've ever played were 18 holes.
Really?
Yeah, including the one I just talked about earlier. 18 holes.
All right.
They're all 18 holes. Trust me. 9 holes. You could pay in top dollar for a 9-hole golf course. Screw that. It better be Zany at that price. So, anyways, this is a straight-up game of 9 holes of mini golf. Each hole has a gimmick. I do like that. Mm-hmm. When you put your number of players in, the first hole has the title screen comes up, the windmill. It'll be a beautiful picture of what the hole is. I mean, just a picture of like the gimmick of the hole. Then it'll kind of give you an overview of what the hole, what you're loading up, and then you play the hole. All right, simple. Now, this is a mouse game, so it would have qualified for point and click, I might add.
Yep.
It's the simplest interface in the history of golf. You put your arrow over the ball, you hold your mouse button down, you pull back the mouse as far as you want, and the further you pull back, the harder you're going to hit the ball. You kind of aim, you keep the mouse button down, you aim the ball, you let go of the mouse button, bam, the ball shoots off. That's it. That's the game. And you try to navigate these courses. Thoughts on the interface, the opening, anything?
The interface is fine. I didn't have any trouble pulling the ball back. My biggest problem with controlling this game came from the fact that I was playing it on an emulator, and I was having trouble. My cursor, the Windows cursor, would not want to line up with my Amiga cursor. And the way that you see more of the course is you take your cursor and you drag it along the edge of the screen show more of this. I had trouble with that.
Yeah.
Did you play this on the real 1200?
Yeah, I played it on both. In fact, I played on the real one until I saw your idea about save states. And I was like, well, screw this. And I played it on the stuff. I also played the DOS version of this. Now, since I've got a DOS machine, so I played that too. They're all very similar. I had to be honest with you. So, let's go over some of these holes. Okay. We might as well go over them. So, and by the way, just to finish your thought, dragging the mouse around to see the course, a pain in the butt.
Yeah, I would have much rather had the arrow keys do that.
Or an overview key or something
like that.
Because it's slow. And this game is slow as part of the game. Yeah. It's not as a quick game. So, what you've got here on the first hole is the windmill hole. It has the pars on it, both. So it's par 2. This is the classic golf hole where you shoot up the ramp, there's a windmill, and you try to go into a little hole.
I guarantee you this first hole is not a par 2.
That's what this says, par 2.
Lie.
So, have you ever get it in the windmill hole?
Not once.
Not me either. It always goes to the little slot, and you hit the ball in.
Maybe it's a par 2 and they give you more strokes than the par is. Because they give you like 5 strokes.
You can get an extra stroke if you get it in the hole. So, which I never did. So some of these holes have gimmicks, which we'll get to. So then you've got the hamburger hole. I don't like this hole, to be honest with you. This hole is pretty simple. It's just sort of like a half rectangle.
Here's my theory on hamburger hole is that one of the art guys was like, boss, check out this cool hamburger I just rendered. Yeah. They're like, we're putting that in the game. We're going to call it hamburger hole.
My thing is the artist is like hungry.
It's a war movie too, right?
Hamburger hole.
Yeah.
That's the battle that no one talks about right there. So anyway, in the hamburger hole, the gimmick is right over top of the hole is a huge hamburger, and you have to click the mouse button like an idiot to make this thing bounce up in the air, and you have to time the ball to go in the hole. And
it's really
a ball of ketchup too.
It's a lame hole.
It's not that good. Then you've got that's par 3. Then you've got walls. This is a pretty simple hole where you have to. There are 3 walls that pop up, and you want the ball to hit the 3rd wall. So you just time it to where you hit the 3rd wall, and then once you do that, it just goes down. And you just put it in. Yeah. Pretty simple stuff there. Now this hole is infuriating. Pinball, par 3. This is a pinball machine.
See, I did this one first try.
I hated this table, and I'll tell you why. You literally have there's nothing to help you succeed. You can lose all your balls here just because you have nothing to do with it. All you do is launch the ball into the pinball machine, and so if the ball just goes out the out lanes and down the middle over and over, this is as rudimentary as a pinball machine gets, and there's no tilting the pinball machine or anything. You just sit there.
Untrue. Did you not read the directions?
I did.
If you rapidly click the mouse, then you'll nudge the table.
You can't. It doesn't help.
You just nudge it.
Let me tell you something. That nudge stung. This table, you just literally hope you pray to the pinball lords.
I like this level a lot.
I hated it, and this, like I said, this is a trend in this game. I didn't like it because you don't control your own fate. You got lucky a couple times. You tried.
I got skillful, is what.
Oh, you're killing me. So, anyways, the next.
This guy's playing a hole that I didn't have in the course.
This right here is this is that mystery hole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So then you've got the fans. So in this level, it's a big, huge, mazy level with a bunch of fans. And what you've got to do is you've got to wiggle your mouse, and it makes the fan as it hit the button. Anyway, you do something with your mouse.
No, you go back and forth.
Yeah, and the fans will blow, and you need to blow the fans to blow your ball to position. Now, this one's not that hard unless you really have a rough go of it.
This is one of the only games that actually supports mouse waggling.
Yeah, you don't feel there's not a lot of waggling in the old mouse. But this hole is, again, it's interesting. It's different. I will say that. Then you've got the magic carpet. It's a par 2. This one, there's checkerboards scattered throughout this mazy level, and when your ball's on them, you can kind of wiggle it around.
Well, it becomes like Marble Madness at that point.
Well, it's sorta, yeah, but it is, but it's sorta, but not as fun or good. And then you try to use the carpeting to manipulate your ball through the maze, and then get a hole. And on this one, if you get it quick enough, you get a bonus. Which I've never gotten that bonus. I don't know about you. Then you've got the castle. All right, this castle looks real intimidating, but it wasn't. I didn't think it was that tough.
No, this was seemed like a hole that should have come earlier in the ordeal.
Yeah, it's a par 3. You have to shoot the ball up this hill into this castle, and then it comes out this area, and then you have to get it under this thing, and you're in your hole. It's not that tough. Then you've got, now this is the hole that came straight from the Devil boat. My least favorite hole of all these holes, the anthill, par 3. That's a joke. So this is basically, just picture a bunch of slopes up to a little like a mesa on top, and then when you get the ball up there, it's not a very big area, so often your ball will fall down, and the hole moves. Right. It just randomly moves around. So you can just hope. Again, much like pinball, it's like you just hope you get lucky.
Absolutely.
Now when the ball comes down the hill, it'll go back into these 4 alcoves, and 3 of which have this like a bumper that you control, and you can knock the ball back up the hill. But I hated this hole. This is where I started using save states because I couldn't get past it. Yeah. Don't tell me I got this one in 2 strokes or whatever.
Nope. I was very close the first time I played it, and then 86 games later I finally did it.
And also these holes wear thin quick.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
They lose their luster quite rapidly.
This is one of the problems of only having 8 holes or 9 holes. You need all those holes. That way you're like, I might try that fan hole again. They'll seem better if you tried 20 other holes.
There is no reason why they couldn't have just said, like California game style, play all the holes, play 1 hole, practice.
Right. Well, I guess that's the, replayability. Then you've got the final hole is.
Let me tell you how much replayability was going on for most people in this game when they couldn't beat that hole. Straight to the trash replayability.
Yeah. So the last hole is called Energy, and this one takes place in sort of like a crazy haunted lab or something. That we're going to go with lab.
Yeah.
And your goal in this one is you have to hit a button that turns off a machine, and then you have to hit the ball into like a mouse hole. I think it's how that's what it looked like. No,
you've got to hit it into the triangular.
Oh, that's right. You hit it into this.
Triangular protuberance.
Yeah, that's right. And it comes out the top, and at the top there's a bunch of other holes you have to get past.
And there's false holes.
Yeah, and they put you back down. That's what that was. So anyway, this hole sucked. I used save states at the yin-yang, and I never got past it. Did you ever get past this one?
Yeah, I beat the game.
Yeah, I never beat it. I never beat this. I've never gotten past it, even when I owned the game back in the day.
Now, are you going to talk about the hidden level?
The hidden level, which I've only seen video of, is sort of a breakout style.
Do you know how you access the hidden level?
I don't, but lay it on me, man.
So, according to Ricky DeRocher in the chat, you have to
he would know.
You have to hit the ball into the mouse hole when the mouse's eyes are showing.
Oh God, I didn't know there was any mouse in there.
Yeah.
Well, I'll never get there.
There you go.
So there you go. I think there's a code or something you can click in to see the last hole, but because I read that in the cheats, but I never got there to try it. So So there you go. So effectively, that last hole, you're never going to get there.
No.
So it basically might as well not exist, right? Why not just make another hole, or maybe
why not just let you play the holes in the order that you want, or practice one hole,
or at least put out a cheat to let you do it. So those are your holes. Those are your holes, vote. Now, give me your overall thoughts. We mention that each hole has its own little unique tune, which some are better than others.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the last level's music makes you want to tear your eyes out, and it's not even.
It's not my favorite.
It's the worst. It's the worst. The rest of the tunes are okay.
Yeah.
They're fine. They're serviceable.
Yeah.
This game on the whole. The holes, some of the holes are too hard, some of the holes rely way too much on luck, but hey, guess what? So do most mini golf courses. Mini golf's all about luck. I don't have a problem with some cheapness going on as long as you don't make the game so unfair that to punish you for things that you have no control over. Again, my main problem with this game is that you can't select holes just to play, I have no problem with being like, okay, you're going to play for real, saving your score. There's no. Once it's game over, it's game over. But let me see all the holes. Let me just practice them, so when I get to them, that way, when I'm trying to get my best score possible, I actually have a shot. I'm not just trying to survive.
But overall, you like the game?
Yeah, I don't think this is a bad game at all. In fact, this is probably one of the best mini golf games there are. On classic systems.
I didn't like this game.
Okay, tell me a mini golf game that's better than this.
I can tell you two, but I can't tell you their names.
I played
one on the Coca that I like. But listen, is this the most beautiful mini golf game? Yes, by far. The other games are very plain Jane, but they're just more fun as a golf game. They also have more holes. This game, some of these levels. Have you ever played a game called what's this? There's this motorcycle game I had for the Xbox it starts out, it's just like you're a guy on a motorcycle jumping dirt,
are you talking about? It's like the.
It's almost like a puzzly.
Yeah, Trials.
And at first you're like, oh, this is fun. I'm going fast. I'm going over ramps. But at some point along the way, it transforms into this bizarre, hyper difficult, almost like a puzzle game.
It's a puzzle game, yeah.
And at that point, I'm just like, it's not as much fun to me. I just like to go fast and jump stuff. This game starts out as a golf game, and at the end, it's morphed into something else, something stupid. Like, there's no golf levels that are like this. And it's funny because this was a game I played quite a bit in my day, so I could just be sick of it, from back in the day. But I did not like it playing it this time. It was frustrating. It irritated me. I didn't like it. It just didn't do it for me. And I thought the levels were not even fun to replay. They just weren't that fun to me. And also, when you're doing stuff like fans and the carpet and stuff, those aren't even skilled levels. And pinballs, there's no skill. Like, part of playing putt-putt is you're putting as a skilled putter. You're like, okay, I can improve my skill. Well, how the hell are you going to improve your skill at like anthill and stuff? There's no way.
Yeah,
it's just random.
That's a valid point.
It's all random, So I didn't do it for the music. Again, is okay. It's funny. Just to clean up some stuff before we move on. I was reading here. I looked at some write-ups on this, and they were saying that the musical score in this was originally made for the Apple II GS. Okay, it was apparently it's real elaborate. I should have listened to it. So when they ported this to other stuff, the music stunk. The DOS version is crap. It just comes out the speaker. And the Amiga version only uses 4 voices instead of they just cut out a ton of other parts. So the music probably could have been a lot better, but it's just kind of got lazy on them. Something else I wanted to mention.
Lazy programming in an Amiga port?
Well, no, all the ports.
Unthinkable.
All the ports were lazy. This was called Will Harvey's Zany Golf. Who the heck's that? You're probably asking. I looked it up. Will Harvey was a software developer. I know you're stunned. And get this. Amongst his claims to fame, he wrote music construction set for the Apple II, which I've heard of, and I'm sure you've heard of
another
that too.
EA game.
He also, believe it or not, he ported over Marble Madness.
That's funny. I actually own that game. Look right there. See it on the music construction set.
Well, you
right
own this guy's game.
Yeah.
Now, see, you didn't know that, did you?
No. His name's not plastered on the top of it like it does on this game.
When he wrote that, he didn't have as much jack as he had when he did Zany.
He was jacked up on this game.
He's went on to do a bunch of different game stuff. And eventually, in case you were wondering what happened to Sandcastle, for whatever reason, because they only had the 2 games, they got bought by Adobe.
Wow.
Which I thought was
That's wacky.
I know. I thought that was particularly goofy. But, like I said, the sound, the graphics pretty good. The gameplay, overall, That's my thoughts on it. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Anything else to add?
Why don't you see what did the reviews say?
Well, they were kinder than I would say. So, and by the way, this game's available to download for free. I should mention that, so I'll give them that. Amazing, let's see here. Amiga Action 16, number 16, gave this 81%. I'd say that's in the meh category.
81?
Yeah. Amiga Computing loved this. They gave it a 95. Atic's Amiga Plus, I don't think we ever mentioned that one before. 2 out of 5.
I wonder if that's affiliated with the Atic magazine.
I don't know. I was wondering that myself. The AUI, Australian Mag, 6 out of 10. CU Commodore gave it an 80%. So with the exception of that 95, you had some, mid-range scores. Yeah, Midland, exactly, man. I looked this up on the eBay just for fun. You can get this thing, if you just want the disc, $7, $10, and if you want the box copy, $20, and it's yours. The box is weird looking. I don't like the box art either. Did I mention
It's
that?
one of the LP covers, right?
I don't think so.
The box looked square to me.
It looked goofy to me. Actually, the art, it didn't do it for me. So, so you like this more than me.
Well, let's talk about what our Discord folks said. Chrisful says, Zany Golf takes Zany to its heart with the crazy courses from the bouncing burgers, fans, magic carpets, and the incredibly hard pinball level. In its day, it was revolutionary, offering something different, not found on 8-bit, and as such, I have fond memories of the game. Terribly dated graphics, sounds, and controls do it no favors in 2019, however, with its flaws all too apparent.
Yep.
6.5 out of 10.
Ooh.
Graham W. Vebke says, Mini golf as a computer game is going to be a challenge, and it attempts to make it more interesting with unconventional hole design. The isometric perspective, however, makes it difficult to aim accurately, and if you shoot over par, you can't retry the hole. You restart the course.
That's brutal.
Mini holes I only completed with luck rather than skill, making this a colorful but frustrating experience. 4 out of 10.
Yep.
Lobsterminator says, decent game for 1988 with nice graphics, but doesn't stand the test of time. Poor frame rate makes the gameplay feel sluggish. You would expect a game as static as this to run really smooth. Hole-in-One from the same year is my preferred Amiga Mini Golf. 5 out of 10.
Ooh, we'll try that one.
Shot. Yeah. Pixels at Dawn says, a pretty enough game with appealingly twee music throughout, and one of the first I remember to use mechanics that wouldn't be possible in real life. No one forgets the hamburger. No one forgets the hamburger. Ooh. Fond memories of multiplayer, but unfortunately very unforgiving, meaning many of us never saw all 10 holes, and not a good value at all at full price. 6.5 out of 10. And finally, Free Lunch says, Zany Golf, a favorite from the old days, but in retrospective, very difficult to control on an original A500 Plus. Still, spent many hours at it. Great concept, nutty artwork, 8 out of 10.
Looks like most people are sort of the same mind that I was.
Yeah. And you're not wrong. I would not have enjoyed this nearly as much without the save states.
Yeah.
The save states take some of the sting out of the randomness.
I will say I did enjoy this a lot more when it was newer. So I think that was, again, we try to judge these things given the fact that these are ancient. But I played this a lot back in the day, and I was still frustrated then, but I did play it a lot. So, I guess that means something.
Yeah. Let's move on to our Patreon song competition.
Oh, boy.
So it's been 2 weeks since our last supporter song. And if you recall, this was a mega mix where there was a 2-pronged challenge.
Yeah.
Not only were you tasked to identify the 3 songs, but to tie them all together with the artist. Pixels at Dawn guessed some of the songs correctly, but didn't get the big win. However, Dreamcatcher, actually maybe Pixels did, I can't remember, it's been so long, but Dreamcatcher I know got it right off the bat with the big win. And Pac Billy guessed it was Horse with No Name, Tin Man, and Ventura Highway by America.
I should mention before you kick off the new, whatever you're going to sing this time, listening to Pixel Gaydon's show.
Do they do a supporter song challenge?
They did
too?
this week. Oh. They did one, and it was 3 notes. So they got 3 supporters, and they got it. I couldn't believe he did guess the song.
I'm glad I've started something.
No, I couldn't tell if it was an homage or just straight up comedy. But I thought that was cute. So.
All right, so if you know this week, and by the way, if you like the show and you want to support it, visit our page at everythingamiga.com/support. You can support us on Patreon or via PayPal. All right. Oh, and happy 34th birthday, Amiga. Amiga turned 34 last week.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. We should have mentioned that on the thing.
Yes.
Now we get it.
All right, here we go.
Oh, God. I hate when you do that.
Sometimes I got to get my neck right.
Is that what you're doing? My God, I thought you were trying to swallow a cue ball.
Deckard, Threepwood, Gary, Heather, Free Lunch, Kate Fox, David Pickford, Cameron Armstrong, Andy Jones, Lobsterminator, Craig McClellan, 10 Minute, Mika Retrocast, Counting Virtual Sheep, Bernard Quinn, Retro Man Cave, Tim Drew, Simon Rose, Joseph Harrison, Kyle Ed, Robbo, Hera Howard, Nims, Matthew, Lara Moore, Andy Craig, Shanzo, Darren Lomax, Colin 419. Oh, it's hard to do. Barkbit, Roland Burke, Andrew Monks, Joe the Zombie, John Cook, Dan Ross, Leaf Kalan, Alan Kebab, Chekote, Levelord, John Marshall, Matthew Perron, Ricky DeRocher, Creepy Dead Boy, Figgy CTC, The Slow Norris, Stafford Swargord, Barnson, Edmund Helen, Blender 75, Christopher Hassel, Ravi Abbott, Chris Foles, Dreamcatcher, Lord Giroux, Graham Vebke, Lane Denson, Adam Battersby, Brian's Retro and Vintage, Gary Hucker, C. Brian Jones, Paul Harrington, Duncan Stiles, Tapes from the Crib, Josh Nan, Adam Bradley, Jonas, Rulo, THT, Eric Nelson, Kim, Tommy, Humberstad, Daniel Bingston, Brutal Barracuda, Darren Coles, Jason Warren's Pixels at Dawn, and Kjolbjorn Barman.
Oh, man. You remember the first edition D&D? Mm-hmm. Everything had a chart, right? Everything. Wandering Monster chart, your feelings, what's happening at night. That sounded like you took a D20 and you rolled on the tone chart, and then you rolled on the note chart, and just rolled 400 times, and just whatever it came up, that's what you sang. I couldn't see any song there, any sort of structure. That seemed as random as I've ever heard. If anyone gets that one, I will personally give them a salute.
All right.
There's a 0% chance that one's getting picked out.
All right. Well, we'll see. Next week, Aaron, we're going to play a little Woody's World.
Little Woody's World?
Little's not part of it.
Oh.
Just a little bit. A little bit of Woody's World.
Freudian slip, right? Woody's World?
Yeah.
Is this about Woody Woodpecker?
It's party time. It's excellent.
Oh, huh? Oh, I get it.
All right.
So slow. The song got to me.
Thanks as always to all the fine folks watching us live on the YouTube. Pixels at Dawn, Necrodom, Barkbit, Picard 2005, Fabi Cyrile, Retro Man Cave, Jason Plevin, Michael Ryan, UK Retro Gamer. Thank you guys so much for watching us live. We do record this show live every Friday at around 5:30. If you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you, and we'll be back next week with more Amiga action. Until then, adios.
Man, that was quite a performance.
You really didn't know that song?
I
was singing it in my head.
That was a
like
song.
Crazy. Yeah.
That was a song.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song.
It sounds like you were just like,
well,
Cameron Armstrong, County Virgin Woodsie.
It's one of those that it only has a few notes in the melody. Sometimes that happens, and it doesn't end well.
So that's a good choice for the Patreon song?
I forgot to pick a Patreon song, and so I thought of one quickly while you were talking.
I thought you did hours of prep work on these, you told me.
No,
remember that?
That was when I was using the guitar. I had to. That's why the guitar is no longer used.
I liked when you used the guitar. That was cool.
It's a lot harder because I have to.
You should use the trombone and do it.
It would be difficult to sing and play the trombone.
Well, no, you record yourself saying it, then you play the trombone along with it.
Remember the original ARG theme with the
horn
backing and stuff?
Yeah, that was cool, man.
Yeah.
I used that a couple weeks ago.
Did you?
Yeah, I broke it out.
Oh. I don't know how I missed that.
Oh, yeah. I've used, I've gotten in trouble with YouTube a couple times on my closing songs. I'm getting desperate.
I did copyright the ARG theme.
Did you? I knew it. I was wondering why I had to pay. No, so I'm trying to, they even nailed me on my Tales of the Unexpected wheel music a couple weeks ago. And we've used that in every episode.
Yeah.
So I just turned it down.
You need to visit the YouTube audio library and just pick out a carousel.
When you start doing that, what are you doing?
You're making money on your video instead of not making money on it.
Listen, it's not about the money, man.
It's all about the money.
I'm an artiste, and I pick those things. I used to pick those very carefully to coincide in a hilarious way with the game we were playing.
I noticed that.
But they're carving into my gimmick by their stupid laws and copyright infringements.
I hate those laws.
I know. Let's do it.
Hold on a second.
What's in that bottle? Is that all vodka?
Yeah.
My God, when you drink like that, it's not appealing. I can tell you right now. I could have went a lifetime without seeing that. Where are you going?
Going to the hot tub.
The hot tub? He's gone. Anybody still around? Let's see what we got here. Oh, man. Did you guys like that game, the Zany Golf? I didn't get to see anybody's reaction. Yeah. I bet you get that all the time, Retro. I mean, I don't know what you would run into, but I don't want a bunch of craziness, man. I just, we're not making any money off this stuff. We're just having a good time. You love Zany Golf? Has anyone here beaten the game? And my next question, I'd like to salute you if you could pull that trick. Does anyone here play much like actual putt-putt on Crazy Golf? It was a big craze here in the States, but I think it's kind of died off, hasn't it, Boat?
You talking about the storming area 51?
No, the No, the putt-putt golf craze.
Oh,
like when I was a kid,
it's still big in Myrtle Beach.
Well, I know, but I mean, everyone had a putt-putt golf course for a while, and then they just sort of died.
Yeah, yeah. I think their fire has waned somewhat.
Here you go. I took this.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. What are you drinking there, Boat? Before we do ZX.
This is a Tomatillan single malt.
Atomic what?
A Tomatillan. Tomatillan. It's a gift from my sister and her husband on my last Christmas or something.
Coastal resorts.
I bet there's a lot of Crazy Golf in Blackpool, isn't there, Pixels?
Does anyone go in for vacations over there? It's all the coast, right? Are there any mountains over there, like skiing and stuff?
Not many mountains in England.
I didn't think so.
But I think there's the Cotswolds, and there's the Yorkshire region, the Dales. There's lots of beautiful nature.
Oh yeah.
The country estates, the Downton Abbey type places. What are we doing here? What is that? Why does that look like that?
I don't know what's happening.
Need to put the right microphone.
Do a pre-tape.
All right.
Yeah, man. That case has kept me going.
I want to go to the Cotswolds one day. Retro Man Cave. Retro Man Cave's going to Wales tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Say hi to Jonah. Bah!
Oh, man.
Man, I'm going to roll. That's two.
It's amazing what you can come up with.
I could go on tour with this act.
You should.
You could be the straight man that's drunk on stage, and I'll be the guy zipping around you just saying the one-liners.
I've always wanted to
like
be
a sweat bee of
I've
comedy.
always wanted to be just like Dean Martin. You just kind of saunter out there, say somebody keeps turning the floor on you.
Yeah. I like that, the sweat bee of comedy. I come in,
I think Carrot Top already has that.
I annoy you, I briefly sting you. If you're a really crummy version of Don Rickles, you could be the sweat bee of comedy.
I think he recently died, didn't he?
Don Rickles, I believe he did. I love Don.
He used to do really good Barry Goldwater.
Wow, what an obscure thing to say. Is that true, or did you just make that up?
Made it up.
Because he doesn't do impressions. And number two, Barry Goldwater. That's a name that's. How do you even know what that is? Do you know who that is?
Didn't he run against? Who did he run against? Kennedy, right?
It was way back. That was before I was born.
I think he ran against Kennedy in '64.
What a crazy thing. All right, dude.
63, maybe.
Listen, you don't know. Let's just do this. I like your shirt, by the way. It's very festive. You gonna wear that tomorrow to the...
Yeah, man. Actually, I've got a closet full of these.
I thought about getting a bunch of Hawaiian shirts a long time ago, but then I was like, well, I'm going to be the classic fat guy in the Hawaiian shirt. I can't pull it off.
I love the classic fat guy in the Hawaiian shirt. That's
Everyone
me.
loves that guy, but you've got to be wacky and falling through tables.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I'm not as wacky as I used to be, but I'm not going to lie.
You missed out not buying a whole bunch of Hawaiian shirts. Actually, you didn't, because now you're going to have to buy a whole bunch more smaller, whatever you buy. So.
Well, yeah, that's the theory on that. We'll see. Hey, all right, man. Necronom, go get some sleep, dude. It's understandable. I mean, he's too tired to watch the Atic Atac.
I'm too tired to film it.
No, you're not.
Oh. Okay.
Do we have you know what we're doing here? Then you've got everything. You've got everything. You've got it ready to go.
Got it. Oh no. Right. I mean, kind of. I forgot to print out my notes.
Are you kidding me?
Here's my notes.
That's your notes. There's nothing there.
Yeah. See that?
You even got tape and press play in your notes? That is absolutely pathetic.
I have to look at it every time.
You can't remember that? Do you have adios written down too?
No, because you say that with me. So if I forget, then you cover for me.
I thought you were joking. You seriously can't remember that,
I can't remember it.
Whoops.
Mike's had enough of you. It's trying to get away.
Well, listen. You're not done yet, little boy. All right, I'm ready, man.
Okay.
Please don't call this. What was it you called it? Atac?
Atic? No, a tick attack.
Atic.
It's a tick attack. It's like what do they say? It's like onomatopoeia. Because when you're rumbling around up there in the attic, what do? A tick attack.
Hit the button, Frank.
Hi everybody. Welcome to Our Sinclair. I'm John.
And I'm Aaron.
And today we're going to be talking about a tick attack.
No, we're not.
What is the real name of this game, Aaron?
Atic Atac.
Atic Atac. If they call it, why do they not spell it correctly then?
It's spelled cool guy style, yo. When you said this on the last show, when you said we were playing a tick attack, I honestly thought that was a game I never heard of. But this is a famous game. Atic Atac is a very famous game for the Spectrum.
Sure, it is. It's one of the most famous games on the whole platform.
But have you heard of it?
I only heard about it because it was on the Rare Replay compilation that was released for the Xbox.
Really? You had that?
I didn't have it because I don't have an Xbox One.
Oh.
But I think it was released on Steam too. But anyway, they've got all the Rare classic games and they've got some Spectrum games. And this was before they were Rare, as I'm sure you're going to talk about. They were Ultimate Play the Game.
Oh no, I didn't have that in my notes.
Yeah.
So that was Rare?
Yeah.
No
Rare
kidding.
is Ultimate Play the Game.
Well, no kidding. That's wacky, man.
So I want to talk to you about Atics.
Okay, Atics like the. Under your roof.
Like the only thing Atic can mean in the English language.
Well, listen, Atic Atac.
It's a game.
Who can say what you're talking about? Okay, what about Atics?
Have you ever lived in a home with an attic?
It depends. I mean, all of them have an attic, more or less. One you go up into, and my buddy.
Get all up in there.
Let me tell you, my buddy had the coolest bedroom. It was because his bedroom was in the attic.
That's awesome. I love that.
And it was my buddy Rich. He had an attic.
Did you know him when he was still living at home with his parents?
Oh, good Lord, yeah. I went to Sunday school with him in Hose way back when I was a young lad. But Rich had an attic room, and now the only way you could get up to it was up the ladder. Like it was not. There were no steps.
You had the pull down.
That was the whole gimmick, and the things would come down.
Yep.
And it would get hot as blazes up there, but he had an AC, and so Rich would keep everywhere. I lived with Rich for a long time. Every place he went, he kept like the Arctic. And it started up there. He had this air conditioner of doom, and when you went in his room, you would always see your breath up there.
Wow!
And this is in the attic, so you know he had it cranked all the way up. But I played many a Commodore 64 game up there. Watched many stupid films on like Cinemax and stuff. He had a pretty good setup. 2 beds up there, so you could have house guests.
Yeah.
What about you?
I never, I read this book by, Betsy Byers. You ever read any of her stuff?
No.
Popular children's author
I never heard
of
of
the
her.
80s. I think she might have been.
I was a Judy Blume guy myself.
Well, they were contemporaries. In fact, I might even be thinking about Judy Blume now that I think about it.
Well, tell me some of the stuff she read, and I'll tell you if you're wrong.
Well, I just start naming Judy Blume books. Like, then again, maybe I won't.
No.
Yeah, that's Judy Blume.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
I like Super Fudge.
So there was a book called The Cartoon Kid I think it was called maybe it was the TV Kid. There were a lot of books. There was like the blah 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 kid. But anyway, this kid lived in his attic.
Yeah.
And he had some kind of fight with his parents, and then he barricaded himself in the attic, and he wouldn't come down.
He's like pull up the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, and I just thought about, man, how cool would that be if I could just, whenever I got mad, I just go up there and I just pull up the stairs, and that's it.
Of course, there's a flip side to that.
It's very hard to get the stairs back down.
No, you anger your parents. They just won't let you out.
That's true.
And you're
what do you do when you pull up the stairs behind you? I mean, you can't exactly.
They got a string.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, if you're up there, how do you get the stairs back down? Do you just kind of have to fall out of the ceiling?
Yeah, it's not easy. Usually you go, hey, Ma, or whatever.
Right. But if you barricaded yourself in and said, I'm never talking to you again.
What was a real hassle was when you had to use the can. Right, because
you didn't have the ensuite up there.
No. So you had to get somebody to come help you, and if it's 2 a.m,
coffee can situation.
Well, I mean, unspoken, I guess, but not good.
Yeah.
I will say, interesting fun fact about Rich. I guess it was Christmas vacation of 1986. I think it was. I had some Christmas fudge at his house, and I ate it, and then I couldn't finish it, so I put it on his headboard, his bed. No, it had a little stand beside the bed.
It's a chewing gum situation.
And then that fudge was there when I moved him to Lexington in 1992.
Wow.
It stayed there that long.
Did you finish it off?
I did not, because it was literally adhered to the thing.
Right, I was going to say, it had become part of the bedstead.
Rich, God bless him, he was not known as the cleanest guy on earth, that's for sure.
So you moved right in with him when you went to Lexington.
Exactly. It was not my finest hour. And the trend continues to this day.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this week's game, Atic Atac.
Atic. Now, again, you had heard of this when you said?
Yeah.
Before? Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's funny. Having heard about it a lot, this is a lot like a lot of games on the spectrum. I'd heard about this game for years, but I'd never seen it. And so, in my mind, I thought it was some sort of like single screen, run around the attic and gather stuff or something like that. I had no idea it was going to be some kind of like epic Dungeons and Dragons style map adventure game.
Yeah.
So I was surprised as hell when we fired this thing up. So this bad boy came out in '83. You mentioned it was the fellas that put it together were Ultimate Play the Game. They did a decent amount of stuff on the old Spectrum.
Oh, yeah.
Now the guys that did this particular game were Tim and Chris Stamper, and so they had a hand in pretty much a lot of the games for Ultimate Play the Game. Amongst their credits, now these are some pretty well-known games here, but I'm sure to rattle them off. Alien 8, Cookie, Gun Fright, I like that. Jetpack, we know that one.
That one's a great one.
Night Lore, yeah. Lunar Jet Man.
Yep.
Nightshade, Pentagram, sounds good. Here's another one, Saber Wolf, we know that one too. Trans Am, and Underworld, spelled cool guy style.
With the E.
See, there was a precedent there.
That's true.
This is one of the things they did. They spelled a lot of stuff cool guy style. This was out on the 48K. All right.
This was the first 48K game that they did. I don't know if that's in your notes.
It was the first one they put out, yeah. Now, I will say, when I played this, of course, we're emulating this stuff. I did. I'm assuming you played on there. I downloaded a jacked up version of this that allowed you to redefine the keyboard. Because apparently you could not do that in the original.
No, that's not true at all.
Oh, really? That's what I read.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I just you didn't just plug in your Kempston style joystick?
I don't have a Kempston style joystick.
I thought that you made a USB to 9-pin adapter. You talk about it every time we bring it up.
Right, but I always play Spectrum games with the keyboard.
This is why you don't enjoy many Spectrum games.
No, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I've enjoyed almost all of them. I'll kill you. Anyway, so there's a hack out there to let you redefine the keys, which I did, and it worked fine. But I guess originally it didn't. But this does support the Kempston, the whole 9 yards. Now, get this. The original price of this, according to World Spectrum, £5.50. That's pretty cheap for this game.
Yeah,
I was surprised, man. I was real surprised. And of course, this has been in compilations at the wazoo and republished. It's a popular game. Apparently, this also came out on the BBC Micro, so at least that one, and there may have been a few other ports.
I can't imagine it looked nearly as good on the Micro.
Well, I mean, who could say? So this game is large, and the premise of it is you've got an overhead view, and you're tasked with going out with your character and gathering up the 3 sections of this key. The key...
It's the AGC or the ACG key.
The ACG key. Now, do you know why it's called that?
No.
Boat?
Please enlighten me.
Well, ACG is an acronym for Ultimate Play the Game's trading name, which was Ashby Computers and Graphics.
Boy, I want some ASG stuff.
You want a key, is what you're saying.
I want one of those keys.
That's a weird choice, don't you think? I mean, that's kind of goofy, I thought.
Yeah,
I would have used a cool guy name.
Yeah, like the Key of Doom or something like that.
That's right. You know, but hey, listen, whatever, toot your horn. So this is an overhead game. You pick your hero and you go into it. It almost, when you played it, almost has almost like a Vectory feel.
Oh yeah,
doesn't it?
100%.
I was thinking to myself, could you do this on the Vectrex in some capacity? I think you may be able to. If it was color, you definitely could.
Well, I mean, you'd have to redraw some of the solid things, but you could definitely do it. Be a Major Havoc type affair.
So you get to pick from 3 different characters, Boat. All right. And now, do you know what the differences is of the characters?
Yes, because I played all of them.
Okay, go tell the people, because I do too.
So the first off, you got the knight, right?
You got the knight.
Okay.
That's right.
So the knight, what he does is he's got an axe that kind of bounces around a little bit.
Yeah.
You've got the wizard.
Right.
And the wizard's weapon is I can't remember what the wizard's weapon is.
He's got this kind of a spell thing.
Just like just like a
puff.
Around. Yeah. And finally, you've got the surf, and the surf has got the boomerang dagger. This thing is bouncing off the walls like nobody's business.
But there's another difference too. They can use different secret passages.
Oh yeah, so the knight can go through. Let me see if I remember this. The knight can go through mirrors. The wizard can go through. No, the knight can go through clocks because we're just watching it right there. The wizard can go through mirrors, and the surf can go through beer barrels. Because, man, as a surf, I can go through tons of beer barrels.
It's odd that a surf got stuck in here.
It is weird.
That's what rangers don't get no love, or clerics, or whatever.
That's what they say.
Well, there you go. So anyway, as you look at this overhead view, you've got to go through this maze and gather up these key elements, among other things. Now, when I first started playing this game, because I went into this with no knowledge. I mean, I never researched it until after I play it. And so I thought, okay, we're going to roll around here and get this key, and then we'll go to level 2. I was thinking more like an arcade-style game. This is not that. This game, you need to get out the old graph paper, Boat, and map this thing. And it's a straight-up mappable gimmick.
Yeah, because it's all squares.
So did you do that at all?
No, I went to this thing called the internet, and I found a map of the overworld.
See, I didn't know if it was even the same every time.
Yeah, it is.
Because I actually drew it out somewhat as best I could, and which was kind of fun. That's the way you would have played it back in the day before there was an internet to look stuff up on. Get this, Boat. This thing has over 100 rooms.
It's a massive,
and
massive
5
place.
Floors.
Yeah,
that's what got me, was trying to keep track of all the floors. It is crazy. So that in itself, think about it. This is another one of these games that has like 8 million rooms, which is crazy. Now, when you go to these rooms, they're not just empty rooms like Berserk or something. I mean, there's crap going on. You've got stuff on the walls. You've got locked doors, unlocked doors, tables, crap on the floor. And then you've got monsters that'll kind of whiz into view. They just sort of fizzle in the air. You see where they're going to land, and then they just come out.
But even beyond that, you've got decorations.
Yeah.
You've got like bear skin rugs or wolf skin rugs on the floor. You've got portraits of aliens. You've got light fixtures. I mean, one of the things that I've discovered is that I love any game that you're sort of scampering about a large mansion, which is basically what this is.
Yeah.
So you got the Addams Family is like this. Luigi's Mansion is one of my favorite games of all time. So this I loved this game. I loved it.
One thing that I couldn't escape was thinking to myself, it would be awesome if someone would have remade Castle Wolfenstein with this engine. This would be perfect for that.
Yeah.
It's got the right view, stick in some Octoons in there and you're in. Now, as you move around, of course, like I said, there's monsters in the game that will come after you. Most monsters you can just shoot and kill. But there are some monsters that are not that simple, that require special gimmicks to take out. So you've got, and I think I saw all these guys. You've got a Frankenstein.
Yep.
You've got sort of a hunchback and a mummy, and there's also a vampire.
Right.
And these guys, you can just shoot the crap out and it doesn't hurt them. They just come after you. but there are special gimmicks that can take them down.
Right.
So, go ahead.
What you have to do is you have to find the right gimmick and have it in your possession to get the monster to get out of your way. So, for example, if you have the cross, then Dracula will flee before its presence, and you can get in the room.
Right.
Each monster has a corresponding thing.
Is the Frankenstein, is that the wrench?
Yeah, the spanner, as they call it in the instructions. And so what this game does is the floors, the rooms are the same every time. The monster deterrents are in the same place every time, but the keys are randomly generated. So there's a sense of the procedural, but there's also a sense of the known, which is a good mix, because I don't think this game would be possible to beat with the way it's constructed if the floors were procedurally generated. I don't think the Spectrum with 48K could handle something like that either.
Not with that many rooms. That'd probably be pretty tough.
Yeah, so this is it's a great compromise between randomness and things that you know.
Now, all that said, you would think this game is not super hard, but I did not beat it. I'll tell you that right now. It's tough.
Even if you know what the map is so big, it's not like you can just pop that up on a secondary monitor and go off it.
And I wasn't sure how the pits worked with mapping, and when you fall in one of those, I'd be boned. So can you tell me
you
that?
just go to the floor below.
Is that how? Well, yeah. I didn't know how far you flew.
And when you see a carpet, that means there's a trapdoor right above you.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that. That's good. The game has an awesome look to it, though.
Yeah, this is quintessential Spectrum graphics, just all pastels, colorful out the wazoo.
I like the vectory makeup of it. Again, this reminded me of something I would have put on in a vector. I mean, you could place on a vector monitor and you'd be like, "Yep, that's it." It looks very like color vectory, a la your Tempest or Major Havoc, and that's a good thing. Sometimes the old less is more. That's what this is. The bad guys are sort of generic. I mean, you've got like witches and pumpkins and bats.
They're generic, but at least there's a lot of different kinds of them.
There are. Plus, you've got the kind of boss characters in there, and it's just. But I mean, that's the long short. That's what it is. Now, one thing you can do in this is pick stuff up, and you have an inventory. The inventory system reminds me of Gods in a way. You can have like 3 things.
Dizzy is like this too.
Yeah, and you have to you can't have more than 3 things. You have to drop some stuff sometimes. It's one of those games where you can take and find a room where you can just stick everything and come back if you have to. There's lots of locked doors that you need keys for. Color, it's all color coded. Right. It's real simple to understand.
And it's a balancing act, because you want to keep keys on you so you can discover different rooms. But if you find that one of the big ASC keys, you want to have that with you. And so you're constantly saying, well, do I need this or do I need this? And like you said, finding a room, sort of a safe house room where you can drop stuff, is probably a good idea.
Now, on the right of the screen, there's an inventory. There's a big scroll, basically. It even says scroll on it, as I recall. Yeah, it does. And you have a list of what you've got, your time, your score, and you've got a turkey.
Yep.
A big, which
as all good games, your health is represented by a piece of poultry.
It's a turkey that slowly just turns to bone. Now, this I assume is meant to mean how much your food you've got left. I guess you're eating as you go.
Right.
It works.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, it's
not the only game that's like this.
It isn't?
I think there's another game where there's a piece of chicken that's slowly rotting away on you.
I thought that was weird.
That episode of Roseanne. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Where they're just slowly eating away at the chicken while they're talking?
No, I don't watch that show. I'll be honest with you.
Oh,
I'm not a
you're
fan.
missing out. John Goodman.
I like him.
He's an up-and-coming comic.
I will say, when I first loaded this up and saw the turkey, I just stared like, what in God's name is that? Now, this is one of those games where, like, if you kill everything in the room, you can't just stand there because other crap's coming. Like there is
infinite spawn is a thing.
It never stops, does it, Bo? It's nonstop action, Jackson. What do you think? You want to comment on the sound? I'm going to assume you're going to use this usual line. What you would come to expect on the Spectrum.
Now, I mean, it's not grating in the way that Manic Miner is, because it doesn't try to be a song.
Yeah.
I didn't immediately turn it off.
Yeah.
That's probably the highest praise that I can give it.
I'll just say this: when I was playing this game, I was playing it on my laptop, and I was hitting the buttons so frantically that I would make the thing beep. Like when you overload the keyboard buffer.
That's how you know you're doing awesome.
And it went on for hours before I realized that wasn't part of the song. That was the keyboard buffer overload where I was going bananas trying to play this game. I mean, it is and I'd like to have this with the arcade controls because that'd be a lot. This would be a great game to have the arcade controls.
I used the monster stick right there, and it was fantastic.
Monster stick. Now, you want to try to explain how the weapon fires? I mean,
it fires depending on which guy you use. It fires differently. So my favorite is the surf because the surf weapon will bounce off the walls diagonally, and you can just let fly and cover the whole room with that.
I didn't even know there was a difference between the way the weapons flew because I've seen them all go kind of crazy.
Yeah,
it took me a while to get to the point where I could safely know which way the weapon was going to go.
Yeah, there's a definite difference in I think the surf is the best character to use in this game.
Really, the surf, eh? Okay, well, I'll buy it. I mean, I used all of them with equal success. You know what I mean?
Now, using the keyboard, I understand why you had a hard time.
Yeah. So this game was very popular, Boat. I know you're stunned by that. The World of Spectrum folk, and this had more votes I think than anything we ever looked at. Gave this an 8.38. CVG gave it 9 out of 10, and Crash gave it 92%. Eurogamer gave it an 8 out of 10. It's mentioned in a lot of lists. First of all, it was highly praised for its graphics. I mean, people loved the graphics on this thing, and you can imagine in '83, this would probably blow your mind. It was incredible. Again, you have to put yourself. It's easy for me because I'm old, but you got to put yourself sort of in that mindset, and you're like, it's quite remarkable, to be honest with you. And people were praising Ultimate's ability to put this thing out and have it run so well. So in '91,
I'll tell you one thing about this game that we should mention.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you've never played this game before, which if you're listening to this podcast, I can't believe that you haven't played this before, but just in case, this is another example of Spectrum games that just run at an extremely smooth, fast clip.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not your Castle Wolfenstein plodding along. This thing is hot action.
Yeah. And to coincide with that comment, in '91, this game was ranked the 79th best Spectrum game by your Sinclair. I'm surprised it's that low.
That's crazy. I can't believe there's 78 games that are better
Retro
than that.
Gamer magazine voted this the 8th best game of all time.
That's more like it.
Their readers did. That's crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
Wow. This was Ultimate's third consecutive #1 game on the sales charts, the highly coveted, highly praised sales charts. The first two, you want to try to guess which ones they did that were the first two?
Probably,
it's real easy.
Night Lore?
No.
Horse Goes Skiing?
It was a series.
Atic Basement?
No, you give up. It's the two Jetman games.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot Jetpack
we knew those were super duper popular.
Yeah, Jetpack was a 16K.
Yeah,
I didn't realize Lunar Jetman was a 16K game.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So, the game highly praised. You got any reviews for this one, Bo?
Yeah, Graham Vebke says, I played this on the Rare Replay on Xbox One. Atic Atac is a top-down perspective, randomly generated, kind of, castle in which you are trapped and you need to find 3 pieces of a key to escape. There are a number of items to find to open doors, to kill, repel enemies, so they help you attempt to escape. It's quite playable, but does take a while to get used to the controls and the top-down view, and the tombstones when you die are a nice touch, which can also help you navigate when you try again. Yeah, it's a very Dark Souls-ish sort of thing.
It didn't help me any. We mentioned that the Stamper boys worked on this.
We did?
Tidbit. Yeah, the brothers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The brothers Stamp.
So get this. Now, we've obviously heard of them from the Jet games. And they, of course, as you said, they went on the bigger and bigger things. But when they made this game, they were coming out of they had worked in the arcade area, which I'm going to have to look up and see what they did in the arcade machine type stuff they did. Apparently, they did arcade game work.
What did he do?
I don't know. I didn't look. But they something I thought was interesting is when they were working on this game, it was in super duper secrecy, right? Because this is one of those games. So, Computer and Video Games magazine noted that during the development of this, the staff would work in separate teams to ensure quality control. One team would work on the graphics, and the other team would oversee gameplay or sound. and that the brothers worked 7 days a week with almost no sleep. And that's all they did was develop games for like how long is that going to go before you get burned out? And then so it worked. I'll give them credit.
And this was the golden era of having two people like this, like the Oliver twins. You had all these titans of relation.
Yeah, you got that right. eBay had a look at this on eBay. So get this boat. This doesn't happen that often. You can get this game in the case. Some people are getting cute, but $7, you should better find it. Some dude on there.
So it's selling for about as much as it went for originally.
Yeah, some dude on here has one of these things sealed in mint condition, never opened, still in the original plastic. He's only asking $125.
Interesting.
That sounds like a steal to me, boat.
Yeah, well, steals are in the eye of the beholder.
Get on a boat.
I do want to thank our fine Patreon supporters. If you like the show and would like to help us out, you can go over to patreon.com/OurSinclair. Just like these guys did. Laurent Giroux, Gary Heather, Eric Nelson, Harbo Knott, Graham Vebke, Frodo NL, Tapes from the Crypt, Pixels at Dawn, Chris Folds, Paul Bossman Harrington, and Christopher Hassal. I also want to thank the fine folks in the chat with us right now. We tape this show around 5:30 every Friday night. Picard 2005, lead starred Dario Rulin. Got some new faces here. Duncan Stiles, Pixels at Dawn, Barkbit, Graham Vebke, Free Lunch, Amiga Bong, Samwise. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. It's always a party in the chat.
Dario's a cool name.
Yeah, it is,
If you ever watch Lucha Underground, the guy that runs it's named Dario Cueto. He's awesome. He's an awesome guy. But before we throw this one down, you'll like this one, then I'm guessing.
I like this one a lot.
We both give this one high praise, right?
Absolutely.
79th, my butt. This should be much higher than
I can't believe the 79th best Spectrum game. Show me those 78 games.
And the thing is, it's highly playable. I mean, and it's not. I mean, but you're going to be. The only downside of it is you're going to be mapping. It's It's sort of a weird amalgamation because it's arcade.
Well, what it is it take the original adventure for the Atari 2600. Okay,
which I don't like.
Add a whole bunch of action.
Yeah. Pretty
it up.
Yeah.
And that's there you have it.
I guess my question, I tried mapping this. Do you know how hard it is to map in this game?
Well, it's hard to map when you're not used to mapping.
No, it's hard to map when there's stuff continuously coming at you. Thank God there's a pause button.
Yeah.
Which I use frequently.
Well, I mean, I got some graph paper out and I was trying to map something.
You're kidding me.
And,
not this.
And not this, but it was hard. I used to do it all the time with especially text adventure games. I'd map stuff out, and man, those days are beyond me now. Yeah. Now I go straight to the Google.
Yeah. It's funny. In the past 2 months, I've had to map a bunch of times, including a text game. That text game I did where the world was blowing up, World War III. I couldn't get around in that thing for crap, so I had to get out my gimmick. I should do what you do and just look on the net and find some other goof that did it.
Find the one that came before.
There you go.
All right, guys, next week we're going to take a look at the sequel to one of our favorite games, Chaos. We're going to take a look at Lords of Chaos.
I've already informed Luke that we're going to be playing the heck of this. Me and Luke just played Chaos just yesterday.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, we play it all the time.
That's awesome.
And we play the new one and on the phone. We play all three, so I'm looking forward to this. When I told him that Chaos had a sequel, he was excited. I didn't tell him the sequel came out 40 years ago or whatever, but yeah.
All right, guys. Well, it's going to be a party. We'll see you next Friday. Until then, rewind tape.
And press play.
All right. Good night, guys.
Adios, muchachos. Thanks for coming out, all you new folks.